relax.
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you, and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.
Oh, I can relax, boys and Bob. I can relax. There's no more goat in the room, so I don't have to try and impress. I noticed some people said, "Oh, you're not responding to comments anymore" or something, and I would never ever do that. But it's like that's the first time I've done that for a start, and Joe's very good at it. So the underflappers, yes, Oliver. So, but cheers for tuning in, everybody. I hope it was thoroughly enjoyed. I do really like Joe, so it was meant to get him on. And the first guest goes, having the goat in the room's pretty good, isn't it? But we didn't get to introduce him because we were on the underflappers. We were getting a bit nervy, so because we didn't know if we'd be able to actually fill the time. Because obviously I'm used to just sitting there and waiting for Joe to ask me a question, so it was a bit surreal. But you know what time it is? Get that badger in and on and over here. He's in, he's on, he's over, he's here. We had to move back to get his greatness in. I am a bit red hot, to be perfectly honest. Uddy's coming off. The goat's gone, mate. He's told me. He says he don't watch. He don't watch. He refuses. Oh. Jumper's coming off, boys. Heated. Gets me heated, does that Joe fella. But yes, and we was drinking. Somebody said, oh, he's sober, but I am having a beer. But just not... Get it off. Are you not watching again, Whitesnake? I saw your comment. I was going to put some more on the screen, but it's hard to keep up, and I can't think and see the comments at the same time, which anybody that is normally here does know that in general, to be fair. Stop it, boys. Take your top off. But yeah, I hope that was thoroughly enjoyed. I thought we got through a fair few topics. Whitesnake, not watching. Yeah, got a bit hot and bothered. I wanted to try and get the juices flowing for like whether we got when we go up and what everybody sort of thinks about when we go up. It's now surreal that I don't have anybody to talk to. So now I'm sort of stuck not having anybody to talk to. I don't know what to do. Thank you, Oliver. Cheers for tuning in. The views went dummy as well. Joe does bring the viewers, doesn't he? There's no doubt about that. So, you know, I think there were about 140 or something in the room at one point. So... Just does legendary MVG, yes indeed. Is this a stripes show? What's the stripes? What do you mean? It's the first Google of the night. Like the white stripes, is this a stripes show? I'm a bit concerned what I'm typing in here, actually. TV series. Classic American Stars and Stripes. I don't think it's that. Was it Angry Mad Gav by any chance, BMG? I'll do my best to. You know, if you don't know this by now, you never knew. You know better than anybody. Angry Mad Gav can't be summoned like room service. Cheers, Ina. Cheers for tuning in as well. Sorry I didn't get through some of your comments, guys, because they were flying in, and I honestly can't think it's strip show, right? Strip, right, I've got you now, right, yeah. Unfortunately not. I mean, we'll see how beer flows. Vino did flow, but it's currently not a strip show, no. It depends if anybody wants to jump in room with me. Not this room. I don't want a personal strip show. Although it will still be viewed, still be shown outside. So not outside, but via the video. I thought my hand went into the comment then. That freaked me out a bit. I fucked up apparently. I'd have asked Joe questions, but stilted. But you'll get better. I asked him loads of questions, didn't I? Brutal. Absolutely no mercy off you boys. It's too much. Too hot to handle. Yes, legendary MVG. I'll do that. I will. I mean, that'll be. To be fair, it was an hour chat, wasn't it? I only planned on nicking his time for half an hour, so this has now become like the review of the chat, which is obviously not what the Underlap's all about, but it has just happened, so I deem it necessary. I have an irresistible desire to hear him. Oh, I thought you meant Joe. Oh, fair enough. Here we go. We've got a question in here. I'm going to get him on once a month. Surely we can't capitulate like last season. If you've got PTSD, I've had to have a swilly. Walking into Loftus Road on Saturday gave me PTSD. 2-0 down. I feared the worst, but genuinely we were the better team. We could have won that game. Nothing. I don't know if we were a better team or not, really. It's that I've erased that game from my mind, from my memory. But I don't, I know it's obvious, but I don't even care if we are or aren't the best team in these games now. The point will prove massive. Anything that keeps us top of the league, as you're all aware, it's common sense football. Anything that keeps us all top of the league is the only points I require. I don't care what we sit through. I don't even really care if Farker, not that he's going to bottle it, but in terms of don't want to make any substitutions till the 75th minute or just runs players into ground. It's project promotion, isn't it? That's all we care about in and on and over here. So that's all I care about. I know for a fact that's all you boys care about. So I'll sit through 8 games. We've had some blasting games, some brilliant entertainment throughout the season. We've had some 7-0s. We've had some last-minute winners. This season's had a bit of it all. We've had some wild draws, like at the start of the season against Portsmouth. We've had some wildness from Mez Silent S, dropping it in his own net, letting it bounce past him. So we've had some wild moments, both good and bad. And now it's time to just get over the line in it and not take any shit. I am fully backing Farker. I made a video yesterday, which with a tongue-in-cheek title, saying my message to Daniel Farker, because I think that is the most patronising title to a video in the history of YouTube, to be perfectly honest. Because the idea that somebody on YouTube, who's just had the dick in their hand 10 minutes prior can go on a YouTube channel and a video and address Daniel Farker is so bonkers to me. It's unbelievable, but it is what it is. So my message to Daniel Farker, is quite literally the message I would give him if I could give him the message. And the message is, do whatever you want, Farker. You have my full backing, and anything you go with, I will back to the end of the season. And then the caveat to that, which I wouldn't say this bit, and if it don't work, it's your fault. But I'd much rather, for his sake, and this sounds wild, but for his sake, I'd rather it be his fault. He's not going to waver anyway. This idea that fans have got any fucking control about what my man Facky Fucker does is crazy. He's not going to waver, is he? He's not going to think, oh, well, everybody go on then, BMG. Let's have it. Everybody wants fucking Nonso into 10. He's not going to listen to that gloat, is he? He's just going to do whatever he thinks is right for the side and live or die by the results. So MVG is like the Incredible Hulk. He only comes out when the host body gets really pissed off. Exactly that, mate. How's it going, AO? Smash a like for us, guys, as well. I don't know how many... Do we know how many likes the other video got? Because I want in and on and over there with it. I was flapping all over the shop. So it'd be interesting to see how many we got in and on and over there. But he does bring the views, that boy. He is the GOAT. There's no doubt about it. Jack, work it out. Strip show. You took your top off. Don't get paranoid. No wonder you don't get my rhetoric most times. Well, somebody put stripe, and that's what threw me off, because unfortunately, I tend to read English as literally as I can. So when somebody put stripe, I thought stripe show, and my initial thought was white stripe show. And then I thought, is there something unusual in my room? Like a stripe, or has the feed gone down, or I don't know. Joe got paid. I can't tell you what he got paid in, but he will be rewarded handsomely. No, he didn't. It's a shit joke as well, but no, he didn't. He should have done though. He's worthy of that, The GOAT. Fanboying over here, he's a beast. Can you do a weekly show called the AMG show? What's the AMG show? AMG fans only? Are you having me on here? Jack, you're now Joe's second best mate after Chrissy Wilder. Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I found that he actually likes him. It's actually his mate, Chrissy Wilder. I'll never live it down. Clickbait. What was? Circa. I like it when people use circa. What Farker must do. Yeah, it's so patronising, dude. It's crazy, isn't it? Striping thing is, see, we're on stripes again. This is what I mean. It's too much for me. Striping. Think we win our 4 home games, pick up 3 points from our away games, ends up on 95. Well, we've still got 104 points on. We've still got a sensational season ahead. So if we lose a game, and if we lost a game, that would obviously be 101. And then if we draw, that'd be 98 or 99. So we've only got slight room forever to get the 100 points, or draw 2, drop 4 points. Yeah, if we draw 2, we get 100 points. So I think we'll lose a game. The running is Swansea at home. I think we'll do them. Joe was pretty adamant that we'll do them. Luton, they're shite at the minute. They're 23rd in league, but just the fact that we've got Luton on the 5th of April and Middlesbrough on the 8th of April, they're both away games, which slightly freaks me out. And we don't have 2 home games on bounce until third to last game, which is Stoke and then Bristol, Preston and Oxford in the middle of that. So the fact that there's 2 away games with it being Luton and then straight into Middlesbrough freaks me out a little bit. I think we'll be all right against Luton, but then going in 5, 6, 7, 8, my boom baby's driving me crazy. 3 days after it'd be away at Middlesbrough, 2 away games. But I think we might have us tail up by then. So I think if we absolutely hammer Swansea, like I don't mean in terms of results, but just in terms of obviously the result, but in terms of performance, if we look like we're back on the bandwagon, I think we'll get into Luton and we'll do a job on Luton away, and then it'll be all guns blazing into Middlesbrough. And really, if we go in flying 6 new points, 86 points, you're waiting for Sheffield United to see what they're doing. We just need to. We're going to lose a game, and I just hope at that point it doesn't matter. Obviously, but Oh, Angry Mad Gav. Fucking hell. These are these called acronyms, these things, where you like an abbreviation? I can't work them out. Yeah, JB says, get the job done, Jack. Sick of saying it, but mentality is key. Wilder's an arse wipe. 82 points, apparently. Yeah, he's an arse wipe. I agree. I like him being there, but I don't like him. So, Bamford and Forshaw. But it is a mentality thing, and I don't think we'll waver. So, Emmett says the group need to get together and realise what's at stake. Get a fucking attitude of promotion, and we're going up, and we're better than whoever we play. Be winners. We are, but they know that anyway. Emmett, though, we'll be. I didn't really go full AMG. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Legendary. It took me hella time to do that, because obviously I had to actually go to Ellen Road. I had to sneak in while floodlights were still on, and with the digestives remaining intact, and I think I pulled it off. I mean, Bielsa wasn't there, but that's where I've edited it. So I was on. Obviously, I know it looks like Bielsa's there, but it wasn't. It was an edit from another question that had been asked, believe it or not. So it was me at Ellen Road with the floodlights on and a pack of digestives, and then my mate filming. Phenomenal. He arrives. Love it, mate. Jackie Farke implodes. Again, Angry Mad Gav do a section on Farke. There will 100% be an Angry Mad Gav section on Farker if it implodes. Yeah, to be fair, I'll take it. I mean, I don't want it, but you know, I know that when he puts a Y on end of your name, I know how much that increases his love and like for someone. So if I can elevate myself to the noble level of Chrissy Wilder and be Jackie, then I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. One thing I did want to ask him, which I will ask the chat, because I thought this would be a bit of a wind up. I'm gonna shake. Hang on, I can't do a poll. But my question is, so I'll be ready for the poll here. Do you think at some point Bamford will contribute something? And I'm talking about anything. Absolutely anything. I'm talking about minutes, goals, seconds, just to end at the season. Minutes, goals. Do you think he will be back in any which way whatsoever? I wanted to ask him that because, you know, he has joked about getting Bamford back. And ultimately, you know my answer. It's, you know, I mean, whether or not my answer is yes, I do want him. It would be a better option off at bench. Even if he can only give you 10 minutes, it's a better 10 minutes than we're getting off of Joseph. So if next season, after the first 10 games, we're on 3 points, no wins, scored like 2 goals, do you think Farker's out? And if it does happen and he goes, who would you like to see get the job? Let me hold on that, Roller Blunt. That's a mint question. We'll come back to that. Let me get Bamford out of the way. We'll come back to that because I'll do a poll on that. I got the answer out of him that I needed. It was clickbait. Yes, indeed, BMG. I now get it. I'm catching up. I'm on my way. I'm behind. 20 minutes behind that. Here we go. I'm going to get pellets again. What Farker must do. I've gone too far. I think I've gone back. Yeah, I've gone back. I'm confused. There seems to be a lot of Matty talk, Andy. Have you been cheating on me again? BMG says, we've proved that we can beat the best teams, hammer some teams, and drop points to the lesser teams. So literally anything could happen to us. And actually to the other teams, it's so hard to I mean, you're right. It's so hard to predict. You know, you look at, I said it all season, but they're just random sticky games and ones that you think, oh, I don't really know about that one. And then there's just a sticky one comes up. Very rare you call the sticky game because they come out of nowhere and you might be in form at season. I mean, the drop off has been quite clear, but I just don't think it's anywhere near the level that we dropped off last season. I don't think we're anywhere near that level. AO says, if we go up, great. If we don't, at least we gave it a decent shot. Either way, we need to strengthen, start playing more 4-3-3 formations. But it depends who we get in, though, doesn't it, to be fair, dude? Because if we stay down, Farke will be gone, won't it? So it might be a total rip-up change of everything. We might go to Corberan tactics, and try and go up that way and go up the Chrissy Wilder way or whatever. But for me, the football does matter to some extent because I think like when we had Bielsa, the best sides do play a certain way and they're very, very adamant that they're gonna continue to play that way and they don't waver from it. So the best sides do that, and I just said do. And I think ultimately Wilder, my man Chrissy Wilder, or Joe's man Chrissy Wilder, will do all right for a couple of seasons. But I just think longevity-wise, I know Sheffield, you could argue, not going to get the investment that they need and stuff, but I don't think Chrissy Wilder at Leeds United will do anything. That's kind of my point. I think he's found his own. Sheffield, and I don't think he does anything at a club like Leeds. I think Farke's got the world on his shoulders trying to get us over the line with it. And it's like me and Joe were just discussing the fact that this is Farke's only way into Premier League, which is well put. 'Cause I meant more like he won't get offered a Premier League club. And he very rightly said the only way to the Premier League for him is through the Championship. So, and he is at a club now where, you know, he could legitimately, if he really gets us. It's interesting. I know nobody likes Farke anymore, but or whether they ever have or not, I don't know. But it's interesting to think what level can he, you know, even if you're being horrible, if you stop being horrible about him for a minute, if he gets us to 10th, consistently 10th for 2 or 3 years, I know the 49ers will be looking to push further than that, so maybe he does get moved on. But when do you stop backing him, really? If he's sort of like a bit of a David Moyes at West Ham or whatever, look how shit they've gone. When do you stop backing it? I'm well behind on comments here, boys. I might have to skip a few. Trying to get a ticket for the Swansea game. Yeah, website went down, didn't it, or something, which is just beyond belief, isn't it? They're doing maintenance or something. I don't know if I could do him in every sense of the word. Biscuit Mike. What's Biscuit Mike? Yes, Mingy. I can't do it about AMG because I'll be trounced. You see, he's off. Got a thing to do. I'll catch you. I reckon it's a bot, you know, like Snake Bites. I reckon he's a bot. I reckon he's got a computer working for him that just gets online and just comments on my lives, and then Jeff's off. Just imagine what bounces they on per player pound. It's their job. They know what's at stake. All right. Just imagine what bonuses. I'm presuming that. Well, I mean that's one thing that will tell him how important it is to go up, won't it? To be fair. MVG, I'm presuming we're getting to Bamford talk here. Clem Fandango says, I've got £50 on Bamford scoring before the end of the season with my son. Love it, Clem. Love it from you, Clem. I love Clem. Bamford's going to get us that promotion goal. When has Bamford ever scored from bench? Well, that's a fair point, but that's also, well, he has, to be fair, but, you know, he also got injured after he'd scored from the bench. But it's a fair point, Thomas, but the poll just means will he feature? Will we get anything from him? BMG said, won't be surprised if he just can't get fit. Well, that's my point. It's like, if he can't get back for, there's no wrong with him, is there, in theory? You know, at this point, I know there is something wrong with him. He can't get fit, and that is what's wrong with him, but there's nothing stopping him getting back. It's not like he has a long-term injury or all. So, will he get back? I mean, the polls actually, to be fair, 67% saying yes, which I'm surprised about because I thought everybody'd be more emotional about that and say no, but AO believes he'll get some game time. We are the highest scorers without Bamford. Do we need him? Ripper, it's a very good point, but my point is more that, you know, is he a better option coming off at bench than Joseph? And I think he is. I don't know whether you're agreeing with me or not there, Bryn. Bielsa in. Yes, if we prove fit, Daniel is desperate enough to go back to the future and risk Bamford. It's not a risk for 10 minutes. Bamford's a professional footballer, man. A proper proven striker, regardless what you think of him. You know. Yeah, I know, BMG. That's honestly, that's got to go down as one of the worst moments. If your career, I mean, to be fair, I must say I was playing footy maybe about 4 years ago, and my knee wasn't right. And I'd been injured. I'd injured my knee 2 or 3, 4 weeks prior. And I was so adamant that, you know, my brother got in my head saying you just need a run of games and stuff because my body was breaking down. And I was so adamant that I'd just like try play through it. And I was running up and down touchline. I was on bench because I was injured, only because I was injured. And I was running up and I said to Guy, he says, have you got 20 minutes? I was like, I don't think I do, man. I did say, I don't think I do. And he was like, you do. And I was like, I just don't think I do. And I came on for a minute. And my knee went. I couldn't believe it. I was so it was the lowest it was the lowest point of my it was a low point that. And then I was still trying to play like the week after, and I just like this. I have a knee problem, and then I think I signed out for the rest of the season. I had a real problems. I couldn't get like 8 games in. I could get 8 goals in, no probs. I couldn't get 8 games and straight in. And then I started playing 6-a-side, and it really helped me. Really helped the body and the bones. Bit of like few battle scars. It's just when you go like, when you're just working all week, then you know your body's breaking down a bit, and you go into 11-a-side. It's fucking horrible on big sticky pitches, big horrible pitches. It's like, I don't know, shit warm up, shit weather, horrible away game. You've been sat in a car for an hour and a half. You get there and set off running and leg goes. It's like, oh, get a shit pass and then hamstring snaps. Hamstring's worst one, to be fair. It's the worst one I've had. And I broke my leg, but hamstring were well worse than breaking the leg. Not the rehab of it, to be fair, because you just wait with an hamstring and you fucking, it gets better every day. Whereas when you break your leg, you're in a pot like a twat, aren't you? And you feel like everybody's looking at you and you're like a goon getting on bus. They're playing Prem. It's got to be next question, that. 69% say yes to the poll. 32 votes. I'll take that. I'm surprised about that, though, but I will take it. I think that's rational. 78 RPM says, just don't think Paddy will get fit, and if he does, he has to get through the warm-up in one piece. Honestly, I couldn't think of anything worse than being spoke about like that. I honestly feel for him. Biscuit Legs Bamford will contribute nothing. He has no hunger or desire to play. Spent unit looking forward to getting rid of him. Spent unit looking forward to get rid of him. It could be argued that Joseph has not really had much opportunity in the last couple of months or so. He hasn't deserved it either, has he? Let's have it right. He was Farker's man at the start of the season. And as a striker, in a side that's trying to win league, you can't be pissing around, can you? So Legendary MVG says, long after the human race is gone, Bamford's spirit will still be at the site where Ellen Road once stood, missing any chances. It's terrible. It's awful. Can't see Bamford kicking another ball for us. Ming says we're going up. That was a bit more like it. Oh, funny. An eclectic taste in content creators. Love it. It's quite the tongue twister as well, Andy. But as long as I stay number 1, that's fine by me, big lad. Some player like Tanaka and Ramazani might stay if we don't go up, just to redeem things. They'll be off. 100% they'll be off. You might make a bit of a case for somebody like Ramazani staying, because we might lose Nonto, we might lose. I think Dan James would probably stay. Obviously, Solomon would go back to Tottenham, so there might be more of a case for Ramazani staying on basis that he'll probably play all the games, or he'll be the main man out wide. Be really interesting to see what happens for them in Prem, really, because all them lot are going to stay out there. Ramazani, Nonto, James, they're all going to stay. So I think we'll sign another winger, but we might sign Solomon. Can't remember his name, but if we had to replace Farker, falling short of hiring Klopp. I'd like to see the USA and the German guy. Somebody put that. You mean Jesse Marsh? I'm hoping he does mean Jesse Marsh. I'd bring Jesse Marsh back. He's got unfinished business at Leeds United. Can't beat Jesse Marsh. He beats himself. Joe Depp says, Jack, if Fat gets us to 17th, it'll be fine. I'll be fine, I agree. PMG murdering me. Bamford. For sure. I've caught up. Oh, no, I haven't. I'm on my way through. Weight of expectation is far heavier than Blades and Burnley. Ask anyone in Prem who they would rather go up. I don't think there's a single team, a single fan in the Premier League that don't want Leeds in the Premier League. And I think there was a stage when we went down 20 years ago now, whatever it was, and I think there was a stage everybody found it funny. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's like laughing at Leeds, and then the joke ends, doesn't it? The joke's then over, and I think people are like, "Come on, let's get back to this," because you know we're better. It's better to have us. It's better to have us there in it to bitch and whinge about, and like that big, it's a big fixture in it for everybody, regardless, even if we're battering boys and bottom at where the battering boys and we bottom at league, it's like, it's a good place to go in at Ellen Road. I'd be gutted if it moved, to be honest, if in the future, but I know they're extending it and what have you, but it is the way. I'm surprised they're not sort of pushing for a brand new one more, really, as opposed to extending, but I never want it to move. I love Ellen Road, me, but it will, it's the way it will, and if we go up to top, it depends. I mean, I don't must just be I'm no construction worker, although I did an apprenticeship and then broke my leg, like breaking my leg. It seems I only broke it once, but the two things can coincide. Two things can be true at once. I was a heat and ventilation apprentice when I was 16, and I broke my leg, and then I hated it. Fucking despised the job. Of some like horrible bastards there, and I couldn't hack it. I want into 6 a.m. starts and started DJing. Now I like to be 6 to 6 the other way around. That's what I like. Bonuses. I worked it out, BMG, don't worry. Hoping for players so good the manager hardly matters to get 10th in Prem. There'd be some players. I mean, take that, wouldn't you? That Joachim Low fella. I'd love that, Oliver. I really would. And the thing is with Rothwell, as we've seen with his goals, to be fair, in general anyway, but he only scores the screamers, doesn't he? So it'd be like last 10 minutes, 1-1 against Luton. Just Rothwell, just screaming to top bin. That's where it comes from. Get up, Nigel Miller. Love it. I think Farker's going to surprise people. He's a good manager. Ain't no doubt about it. Wilkinson, man. Wilkinson's, I tried to say this other couple of weeks ago on the Underlap, but got smoked for it. But I think he's the forgotten man, Wilkinson. I don't think he gets anywhere near the praise he deserves. MVG's on that, Oliver. He's 100%. I mean, we know he's got one in locker from the Southampton game, but he's got a strike on him, man. Striker! Love it, BMG. Perhaps even Mez. I want some malign player to score the goal that sends us up. Aronson, Wobber, Bamford, or perhaps even Mez. Could be a last-minute header. He's gone up for a couple of corners, hasn't he? Bamford or Joseph. Yes, Andy, but it's not... yes. White Snake's Bike does exist. I've seen his show, dude. I comment on his channel. I watch his channel. It's I jest about it. He's the review man, isn't he? Says it how it is. Yes, Mingy. Been a member for 5 months, dude. Crazy. Cheers, dude. Mingy the man. With a master plan. On paper, Jack, who do you think the best current Leeds content creator is playing football? I don't know him all intimately enough. I reckon Lockie's decent. From what Luke tells me, he used to be good, but his knees are a bit fucked. I reckon Joe's got a big tackle in him. No messing. But obviously, I think it's me, don't I? All right, Nigel. I was still talking about Paddy. Jesus, fuck me. He should be out. Yeah, well, we are, because ultimately he's still the best striker at club. I do love Paddy. I just think he's done. We'll be better go to than Joe's if he's fit. That's the sad reality, I believe. He would. Who's the hardest? I don't know who the most intelligent is, because I think intelligence is can be defined in very different means. If you're extremely, you can be extremely intelligent in certain ways, can't you? And then socially dumb as fuck. So like, or extremely good at maths, and then not have any common sense, or don't know, be full of life experience as an 80-year-old man that's done it all, seen it all, text no shit, or text the appropriate amount of shit, or whatever. So I don't know, but I reckon Luke's pretty hard, to be fair. I wouldn't like to mess about with Luke. I reckon there'd be a beat down about. I definitely think Luke's quite hard. I'm off out with Luke, not on a date, and that's not why I think he's hard either. But I'm off to London with Luke. Joe were meant to come, but Joe got a bit scared. He panicked because he thought he didn't know. He's probably scared of Luke, and then he thinks if he meets me in real person, he'll realise I'm a bastard. He won't like me anymore. Although we have met in real person, so that's nonsense. But try to be funny, so apologies. But yeah, off to London with him, so that will be eventful. Luke's into his experiments, I think, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Might have to see if I can get him to do a vlog while we're out. We'll have to go see a rapper called Harry Mack. It'll be mint. It'll be a brilliant night. I'm off to go see Game tomorrow. There's a rapper, American rapper, not a game, like a game of football, like The Game. I'm off to go see The Game. I'd play one of his tracks now, but as we all know, the video gets shut down, so. Bamford should have gone yonks ago. That's claiming on about Jesse Marsh. I remember my mate where we had on other week, to be fair, Lancy boy, like, has he fucking slept in them? Because nobody liked Marsh round my ends. Oh, dumbest, probably me, BMG. It's so profound. We've nearly all lost the love for Bamford. He surely deserves some kudos. That's coming from Mr. See, this is the pantomime villain, Andy. This is where you excel, because you go against the grain with it. You'll have been, you always going about that. You've got the receipts on me. I've got the receipts. He always says to me, does Andy? Well, in and on and over here in this scenario, I reckon if I went back through my old lives, I reckon I'd have receipts on you saying how much you hated him. And now it's like, well, because I still like him. Remember though that Ampadu Gruev rode on onto a fair push through at Peru, and others did all stay. Yeah, but I don't think any of them are. As I say, I think Ramazani can make a case for, but I think Tanaka would be off. That is true, BMG. I can't. Let me check that out, JB. I've seen that because we're playing them in. My mate texted me. Honestly, can't get into any home games at the minute. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to find that though. You can't put links in chat, can you? But because I think with I thought Dan James were on there. How am I going to find that? Man United Leeds, Sweden. My mate texted me say I can't get. As I say, I can't get into home games at the minute. Oh, see, I found it. Mellier's there. Peru and Dan James. So you don't reckon Peru and Dan James will be there, dude? It's an interesting take. Not one of the players that were on the pre-season promo poster, yeah? I don't know. Dan James will definitely. I think Peru will definitely be there. I personally think Meslier, Saint Mess will definitely be there. I broke it playing football. It wasn't like a particularly bad break or all, but you know, I broke my leg. Well, I broke my ankle actually. Well, the doctor said I broke my ankle, but it looked like my leg. And when I feel it, it's my leg. But I don't really know where your ankle starts, so because I'd have your ankle, I know I'm touching it and nobody can see me touching it, but you've all got an ankle, and if you don't, sorry. But for everybody that has an ankle, you've got like the ball of your ankle, haven't you? And then it comes up a bit, doesn't it? And it starts riding up your leg. Your ankle starts riding up your leg, starts working your leg, working them muscles. But yeah, it was like above. I'm touching it again because it's like above. They said it was my ankle, but to me it was my leg. Because breaking your ankle, it's freaking me out a bit now because that seems a lot worse to me. Although maybe your leg is worse, but your ankle seems harder to break. But I just felt, I heard an almighty crack and I knew it was done. No, BMG. No. There is no way that happens. Keep Farker if promoted. That's got to be a yes, guys. If we get promoted, it's just got to be a yes. No basher. No basher. Ain't happening, brother. No way, Jose. Bamford, I can't keep saying it because everybody goes over. Everybody thinks that I'm just a fucking Bamford worshipper or something. But Bamford is and has been the best striker at the club for a long, long time. Farker is right to start Bamford. In the case of Bamford being fit, I know it's over now. I know the bloke's, not been playing for a hell of a long time. But I don't know. I've done it all before. I don't know if I can keep fucking talking about Bamford myself. I've done it all before. The stats back it. Is one of his top goal scorers in past however many years, 10 years or whatever it is. He misses a few chances. It's just like, he's the most complete striker we have. The movement's amazing. He's hard to deal with centre backs. The bloke's just can't get fit anymore. And it's crazy. I mean, I don't know how old he is, but it's actually what we're talking to Joe about. Joe's been on channel, I don't know if you remember. But he's 31. It's mental. You just can't get fit, but it's the level that you have to get to, isn't it, really? It's the level of fitness you have to get to, innit? It could probably, I do think there's an element. Hang on a minute. Let's see what this says here. Patrick Bamford to never play for Leeds again as Daniel Farker has replacement. It's an article from 9 hours ago. This will be a lot of bollocks. This becomes forgotten figure. Ellen Road. If this is for next season, we're not on about. Even if he returns to full fitness, Joe Peru and Matteo Joseph will be ahead of him in the pecking order. I don't believe that. In addition to this, Willie Nonto, Ramazani, Dan James are all capable of playing through the middle, and the manager is likely to prefer one of the younger players to someone who cannot be trusted to stay fit. That is bollocks. Utter bollocks. Somebody coming off at bench, that is bollocks. We surely must agree that's bollocks. He's not more likely to play Ramazani or Dan James or Willie Nonto up top on their own as opposed to a fit Bamford for 10, 15 minutes at the end of a game. That is not more likely. Some of these articles, man, and then I read them. I read these articles and I speak on the channel of these articles. And then I get pelters off of you boys, which is all part of the fun. We love it, don't we? I'm well behind at comments again. Somerville or Rutter back for end of season. Rutter. I'm presuming that's a question. Rutter. Somerville get you a few goals, but I just think we don't need them. We're scoring shitloads of goals. I mean, if we had Rutter in that 10, I think it'd be a joke, honestly. I think would be a joke. Our front line, Solomon, James, Perizli, who does have, we can see, got plenty of goals in him. And then Rutter in behind, they'd just be wild. Ramazani and Nonto to come off at bench, it's frightening that. Whereas Somerville would be sensational signing, but it'd be I don't know. I'd go Rutter. I'd get you a few goals with Somerville, and that seems silly to say. But Rutter would change games and make us even more of a threat going forward, which Somerville would as well. But I'd go Rutter. That can be the next poll. We'll do this one because 90% yes. 30 votes, 90% said yes. So that's a good question, though, that, Thomas. So we'll go with that. Start poll. Final 8 games. Rutter or Somerville. I have made my answer clear. Somerville's was amazing for his last season, but I just think Rutter's like exactly what we need right now. He's never looked remote. He's not great from when it gets put on him a bit. Probably a shit house. What do you mean in terms of playing? Because I reckon Jay's got a bit of a nasty side to him, you know. I don't mean that. Whoa! I really like Jay. I don't mean nasty. I don't mean like nasty man, but I mean like I bet Jay's got plenty about him. Jay'll be like, I reckon Jay'll have been quality when he were younger. Not that he won't be now. I just mean when he were in his pomp. I bet he were that big horrible bastard. I think he played up top, but I don't know where I've heard that. I've not heard it from the horse's mouth, but I can imagine when I were a youngster, when I were about 17. I mean, Jay's not that much older. I don't mean this. I'm not talking about Jay now, but I can imagine Jay at that ilk. There was a certain type of player. To be honest, I played footy with like loads of these 19-year-old, 20-year-old lads last night. Because I worked with one at lads who works behind bar, and they were like, I'll come for a knockabout with you. And I've got to say, I'm surprised how like soft they are. And I'm like, you know, a bit more on the ball. Like I don't want to go flying in. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, get me on the ball type of player. But I'm surprised how soft they are. Whereas I reckon Jay's from that day where you're like, everybody's decent on ball, but also horrible to play against, and they'll get their arms out and they'll chew it off with best of them. I don't mean that, but Ena says, I'm really intelligent doing stupid stuff. I agree. The YouTube Leeds team. Is that how far behind I am? BMG, you do yourself a disservice. Yeah, I do remember that. Wang Dong. Luke is probably the most confrontational Leeds content creator I've seen. He was ripping into that Carl fella last night on a stream. He's had clashes with Evie on JustJoe. Yeah, he's scary, he's Luke. He's a right lad. I love him. I'd love Peru to score as a goal that sends us up. He gets pelters, but best finisher at the club. His work goes unnoticed. He's a ball. He's been mint. He's been brilliant. Brilliant signing. It's just we're so hard on centre forwards, us lot. And we seem to ask a lot more of certain players. Fairport to send us up for BMG. Thank you very much, AO. Joe does get a bit cranky at times, especially if people challenge him. Your ankle is just above your foot, Jack. He's lovely, is Joe. He loves it. He's in beast mode. Well, you're welcome on. Farker out no matter what, says Sly 2.0. I respect it. I respect it. Your hip bone's connected to your leg bone. I want to talk about this, Andy, actually, to be fair. Newcastle was ecstatic winning the League Cup. Leeds show no love for the FA Cup, which is, I think, a pay grade above the League Cup. I agree to that. I think the FA Cup is better than the League Cup. It does my head in that the Simon Jordans of the world sort of slag it off to some extent and saying, like, we had Paul Scholes on. I say we had. I didn't have him on Underlap, did I? But giving it big licks about everybody tries to get knocked out of that competition and all this shite. And it's like, well, Man United, you know, they don't try and get knocked out of competition and still get knocked out of it. Man United had take League Cup in a heartbeat. You cannot blame Newcastle for being bang up for that. And it serves Liverpool right. They won't bang up for it, and then they didn't win it. Liverpool weren't there to lose it, were they? So what are we talking about? Liverpool didn't get to the final because it for any other reason than it benefits them winning a trophy. They'd have been jumping around like nobody's business as well. And also, like, you know, as a fan, I'm going to celebrate going up in Championship as though we've won Premier League. Granted, even in I think in your mind, you know you haven't, because the celebrations in Newcastle if they won the Champions League would be far and away, you know, it'd be insane here in comparison to the League Cup. But, you know, there's a celebration warranted for winning the League Cup, isn't there? And best believe if we win a League Cup in the next couple of years or ever, I'm going to be going fucking wild on here. So, which manager's been sacked after promotion? I don't know of any off the top of my head. I know that Parker did a runner, didn't he? I don't know why we threw. I mean, I think, to be fair, from what I've read, Geldart wanted proper minutes, and to be fair, he's been decent at Hull, but I'd have been more inclined to loan Joseph out and keep Geldart. I think Geldart gets real rough end at yard. Peru would score shed loads behind Bamford, behind a fit Bamford. I didn't say it 70 RPM. I'll let you say it. I agree. Good evening, Dig Dastardly. Can Bamford get fit and also get fully up to speed in the games we have left? I can't see him being more than a late sub at best. Yeah, that's where I'm living, BMG, to be fair. I think he'll come on. If he gets any game time, it'll have to be off the bench for sort of 15 minutes. I'm certainly not advocating for him starting over Peru, Peralta, Risley, even if Aronson's running on empty. I'd rather go in on in 10 and sort of sacrifice the structure of the side a little bit than go Bamford up top. 31 we've learnt, BMG. Hey, if we go up, change that when we go up. Keep Farker heavily backing financially, but we need more formation changes for games. We need early substitutions before 70 minutes, and we need to do better from set pieces. It's interesting this, right? Because Farker has got it right in the Championship. Now, do you think this idea that the Plan B thing don't work, and and I've been an advocate of saying, well, if Plan A is not working, change Plan A, tweak Plan A, don't go to Plan B. We're talking about Farker as though it's not in his DNA to do that whatsoever, and we don't know that, do we? We'll only find that out. I think he'll come up a cropper in Premier League if he doesn't have a little bit he doesn't have a few different ways of playing. I think he'll come a cropper. But I think in terms of this season and in the Championship, he's been tremendous for 2 years now, really. He steadied the ship at the start of the first season when it all went tits up. He got through that. He steadied the ship again this season when it were looking a little bit like what's going on. I mean, if you look back to that starting lineup of his first game at season, he must have thought, what the fuck have I walked into here? So, he did a tremendous job for us last season, regardless whether we went up or not. And had it been in another year, we probably would have gone up. And I know that doesn't matter. We didn't go up. Yeah. But he might do. He might use them all of his squad. He might be a bit more defensive. He might switch it up. He might go 4-3-3. He might go 4-4-2. I mean, he probably won't go 4-4-2. It seems quite far away from it. But, he's got the players at his disposal to potentially, try to catch teams on counter-attack with Dan James running forward. Nonto's fast. If we sign Solomon's he can get at players on break. We'll find as well. Teams won't be intimidated by us as much. So obviously teams will come to beat us. They'll be reliant on 3 points on their behalf. So we will be able to catch teams on break a little bit more. And we do have a rapid team, really. And even when you look at subs like Ramazani, if he's a starter or a sub, he's fast as fuck. He can beat a player, and that's what you want when we're breaking forward. Fast players who can beat a man. Yes, Dick Dastardly. That'll be when we really see Chrissy Wilder, won't we? In full swing. I think some stats are massaged. I'm presuming you mean. I still prefer the eye test when judging players. Stats do favours the tippy tappy in midfield. Yeah, this idea, this 99% pass rate, and it's like, well, yeah, good for you, man. Do you know what I mean? I reckon I could do a job. My rate could be 100% just into feet and back to centre back. Into feet, back to centre back, You're not spraying ball about. Look at the last 2 seasons, no matter who the manager is. I do think, though, they're going to struggle. I do think we are in a good position. We are in a good place. I do think we've got quite a strong squad, and I know the teams that went up last year also did. I think Leicester have skewed it a little bit on the basis that they couldn't really spend money and they're a bit in a panic mode about potentially turning to shit. Yeah, I do think there's I think we're in a good place. I don't give a fuck what they did as well this year. I'm keenly interested in what we're doing. So Bamford can't score, always offside and gets in the way on a shot at goal rather play it with 10 men. And Rafinha wasn't. You won't really say Rafinha was Bielsa, would you? But none of them, Richard, which is an excellent point. None of them. I worked it out, don't worry. Rutter, it'd be a joke for us now. 26 votes, 81% say Rutter. That's why I was surprised to hear that they're sort of throwing him under the bus, throwing Bielsa under the bus. Do you not realise? Do you not know what he's done for you? Like, do you know what I mean? And you're now sort of thinking that you're a Premier League footballer. It's like without him, you didn't have jack shit. Well, Dick Dastardly, another poll coming up here. Who's better? Solomon, Somerville? I think that's a really good question. And I actually struggle to answer that question on the basis that, let me look at what Somerville's been up to. Because I've dropped off at Boyle. 19 matches, 1 goal, 1 assist. That could be skewed on the minutes. Might not have played a lot of minutes. He's only 23. Then we've got Solomon, who I think's not in the twilight of his career, but I think he's a bit older. 25, so very similar, to be fair. 7 goals, 7 assists. What did Somerville get last year? 20 goals, 9 assists. Fucking wild, that, innit? I forgot how good that season was. It's horses for courses, though, and I'll get pellets for this, but I don't know whether... it depends what level we're on about, doesn't it? Somerville's the type of player that rips the Championship up, and I don't think Solomon really rips stuff up. But I think when we go up, it's potentially like... I don't know with that one. I actually don't know. I'd probably go with Solomon just because he's here and I want us to sign him. But really, Somerville's goal tally, you just can't argue with. And if we'd have gone up, we'd have kept with him, wouldn't we? And Solomon had never been at club, so... Not exactly, MVG. No, not exactly. I'll just leave that one in there, MVG. Old and grizzled. Yes, Last Samurai. That's what I mean. Just play this lad. Shan't name his name, and he will not be watching, but lovely, lovely man. Oh, just a nightmare to play with, like horrible to play with. I don't even mean against. It was just fucking horrible, 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 horrible. Didn't matter what you did, horrible. Jack, who's playing a double pivot in the YouTube team? Nobody, because the double pivot's a lot of bullshit. It's 2 central midfielders or 2 defensive midfielders. It's double pivot wank. I'm fucking getting out of the way of this. Hang on. Yes, indeed, there is BMG, but I'm not fully privy to the details. So if and when I know, I should know more about it than I do, but I'm a busy man. You need to be careful, MVG. As Ming rightly puts there, you need to be careful when we're making jokes about Scottish people, because it doesn't always go down very well. Luke chaperone JT at Chelsea away game in the FA Cup. That was just from the Leeds section. I know. I do. He keeps sending me voice clips, and that does Luke saying, "Get ready, get ready." Should we try and get him on? Oh, my brother might be free. He texted me half an hour ago, but I put my phone on Don't Disturb. He won't be free now, bastard. Not my brother. Bollocks. Oh, we've missed him. An intelligent man for your BMG there as well. I hope nobody MVG, to be perfectly honest. To be honest, I think it's more likely to come down barrel other way, to be honest. I don't know him as a guy, so I'm hoping, it doesn't really matter. And it's it is a charity match at the end of the day, and I'm up for it. Like, whatever. If we're playing, if it goes ahead and we're playing, I'm in and on and over here. You know me. But I'm certainly not going to be trying to line anybody out or whatever. But shit can get tasty pretty quickly, can't it? So we'll have to see. Well, I'll take it, BMG, anyway. But I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I was tempted to try and get JT on at one point, but because I'm going to start getting people on, but I don't know. I don't know how much he likes me. Not this again, BMG. I saw that in live with Joe, and I panicked. I thought, shit, is people think I'm ignoring chat, but yeah, I don't want us to either. Oh, he's off to bed. It's big lad. You're glitching, BMG. You're glitching. Hey, we've got him in. I knew I'd be able to guilt trip him. We've got him in. This is my middle brother. My middle brother, David. So he might be bouncing in for 10 minutes. We'll just have a quick chat. You'll just be hearing me talk to him, to be fair, but I want you all to be very nice to him if he does pop in. And I might forget the comments, so if you've got any questions for him, get them in now. Nerves are kicking in for my brother turning up. What will happen? What's next? I need a piss as well, so it's all striking. It's all striking home. 100% BMG. We were a terrible mess, and that was the best thing. The best thing he did was the start of the first season. How he steadied ship and how he relaxed the team. Never whinged. He was the steadiest man in the room when we were all panicking, thinking what's occurring. He was Noah's Ark. I forgot about JT when mentioning. He's here, it's big man. I forgot about JT when I mentioned football. So I reckon JT will be decent. But everybody, welcome David.
Hello.
Yes, man. What's going?
I'm in.
Yes, man. Can you hear us?
Yeah, man.
Amazing what you're doing, Dave.
Nothing. I'm just rock and rolling on my Todd in the hotel.
Yeah, you're in Liverpool.
Yeah.
Would you like to share what you're up to, or in general?
Filming. I've been filming all day today. So
yeah, you do work for Hollyoaks, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, my brother's a successful one out of all three of us guys. So we'll have to. You're in the presence of royalty.
Hardly.
But yeah, man, how have you been?
All good, mate. All good.
Yeah,
I've
man,
been
yeah.
listening to it. I texted you about half an hour ago because I was like, I've just come back up after a bit of food, and I was like, I'll come on and have a chat.
Yeah, I put my phone on silent so that knobheads don't pester me. But and when I saw you was texting, all right, I don't know if you're
pestering me.
yeah, you're no exception to the rule, yeah. But yeah, man. What are your overall thoughts, Dave? We might as well talk a bit about Leeds just this season. Farker, and we're on a bit of a wobble, are we? So what do you reckon?
Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't think we're on a wobble. I think
don't.
we're allowed to lose a couple of games. I feel quite good about the season. I feel like, you know, it's quite easy to get on the back of the team and go like, we should be winning every single game. And yeah, we are the best league. We're the best team in the league. So yeah, we're going to lose some games, and we just need to get over it.
It's Jack with glasses.
Jack with glasses. Oh, fucking I have to read these comments again.
You are.
Jack with glasses.
Well, you'd argue that I'm you without glasses, wouldn't you? I suppose. Because if it's a hierarchy, you're in the middle. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not. I'd take a real dislike to that because I'd be like, no. It's like if somebody said, "Oh, he went to your school," I'd be like, "No." He went, "No, yeah, that'd be right, actually." Do you know what I mean? It has to go like, "No, I didn't go to his school. He went to my school." It has to be like, do you know what I mean? That's not how it works. So I look like you without glasses as opposed to it's me with you know what I'm trying to say. I'm not confused by it's Jack with glasses. I can't throw it out myself. Like I'm nervous to meet you. He's genuinely my brother.
Yeah, true.
It's no joke.
I'm the middle though. So if you ever want any real football insight, don't listen to me. Listen to Jack, and then there's John, the older brother. Listen to John because John's really knowledgeable. I'm just the one that's always been in the family that's just listened to my two brothers and gone, oh, right, okay, is that what's going on in football world? But I've always supported Leeds my whole life, and I've always been a massive Leeds fan. But I've never been as knowledgeable.
You don't miss many games, that is for sure, and you're extremely busy, so you do yourself a disservice.
I watched all the games, and I used to, in particular, when we were in the depths of despair, I used to go see all the games. I used to go home games and away games. It were like, must have been like when we were in League One. When was that? Like 2010 to 2011. It was sometime around then. It was after 2008. I really got into the away games. It was because a mate of mine had loads of points on his season ticket, so he could get away tickets. And I used to go, and any time, because I lived in London at the time, and anytime any London game, I'd go to those games, and they were mint. I mean, it was so mint. We'd go to some shit grounds, but it was ace going to the shit grounds because we'd literally pack it all out, and it would feel like Ellen Road, but you'd just be in some, terrible ground that had about 8,000 in the ground, and there'd be about 4,000 that'd be Leeds fans.
Yeah, well, you're just taking over, aren't you? That is what's mint about the lower leagues, really, when you're a well-supported club, isn't it? Because you are going to take over. It's like you're turning up, and like say, there's a few thousand there, and we're playing away, and it's like you're in total dominance in terms of fan base. It's crazy, really.
It used to. There were certain places where you'd go to, and you could tell the locals were quite shocked just about how their town was completely flooded with Leeds fans. The one time, I can't remember where it was, but we were walking towards the ground, and it wasn't a big club at all. That's a big club with respect to it. All clubs, but it was in comparison to what we were, and we were walking across like a big field. And it was around November, and there was this massive bonfire. And this one lad ran over to the bonfire in the afternoon. It was like 12:30 kickoff, or maybe a 3 o'clock kickoff. I can't remember. And lit the bonfire. And I shouldn't laugh because it wasn't funny, but it kind of a little bit was. Because he lit the fire and everyone cheered, but then you realise that this quite small community, it's like their bonfire has been lit and probably burnt out by the time it got dark. And it's like, sorry, little Timmy, we can't do bonfire tonight because the Leeds fans. It was just mental.
We've run out of wood. It's all gone.
But it was massive. It was massive. And even when we came out of the ground and we had to walk back across it, it was like raging. It was full rage, but it was full daylight. So, yeah, ruined.
Yeah, there'd been embers by the time we got back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is mint. It's, to be fair, Dave, because you lived in London for a long time, didn't you? 5-6 years, was it?
Yeah, probably about that. Yeah.
And then you moved to Manchester, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Would you say
I was at the at Old Trafford when we beat them? January 3rd.
Amazing story that.
Yeah, that was mental. Jermaine Beckford scoring. I still remember it because I remember it got to half time and we were going, we've won over 45 minutes. It's fine. Like, you know, I was happy because it's like
enjoying it.
And then Fergie were bringing on Rooney and all sorts, like bringing on big guns in second half, and still couldn't do well. It was brilliant. Yeah,
it's awesome. Funnily enough, somebody just said about the celebrate. I don't know if you saw Newcastle at weekend when they were going, all fans were going mental and that. They've been like a bit ridiculed for it. And I just think they've won just because a few teams pretend they don't want to win League Cup. It's all the big sides always win League Cup. It's like Liverpool. I mean, previously Man United, they don't win out anymore, but like Man City, Arsenal, it's all big clubs that want to win it. So this idea that it's not a massive thing. We're talking about a Man U game. I know we were shit at the time, but you know, we still talk about it. It's borderline embarrassing, isn't it, really, that we're on about a Beckford goal, that, you know, and it's part of our history now, but it's just how football is, isn't it? Newcastle winning, that's enormous.
I think it's bullshit when, you know, like when ego comes into winning silverware, like fuck off. Like that's why I'm always like, let's get behind the FA Cup, like let's try and go as far as we might not win, but you've got to be in it to win it. It's like putting a quid on the lottery, isn't it? It's like, what's the point? I'm not going to win. It's like, well, you might, and it's you know, when it comes to playing for silverware, you've got to be in it. And I'm all for that. And I just think that like clubs that pretend to be pretentious and go, well, we don't give a shit about the FA Cup, it's just bullshit. Like every fan wants their team to win silverware, every fan. And there might be, you know, managers that put out a second team, like, you know, Man City, Liverpool, whatever. They might put out a second team to just go, yeah, well, you know, we've got to prioritise our other commitments. Fair enough. But it still doesn't mean that the fans don't want to win that silverware. I think that, like say, if we had the League Cup, I think we go as loud and as noisy as the Newcastle supporters, because it's a massive achievement. And it should be something that we celebrate. And the fact that Liverpool, and I say this full of loads of Scousers, I work with loads of Scousers, the fact that Liverpool lost is kind of a good thing for me, because I'm just like, it brings back the magic of silverware and actually clubs that give a shit and that will literally scream their heads off and get pissed up and do all sorts of mad stuff.
And get the bellies out. Newcastle love, Geordie fans love getting the bellies out, don't they?
And just loving winning silverware and actually bringing legitimacy to a cup that is just dominated by teams, pretentious teams that just pretend like they don't care about the, you know, the silverware.
And they're desperate to win them games. Liverpool weren't turning up other day to not. They were desperate to win that cup final. Newcastle was just so much better than them. But I think Guardiola's done a massive favour, to be honest with, because he really does take. He were banging on about when they did. I think they won treble that year, but they'd won Charity Shield as well, and he was banging on about that being a cup. And to be honest, I agree with him. It's the winner of the FA Cup and the winner of the league playing that match. I know it's the first game of the season, but it's silverware. That there's only 2 teams get to play in that. That's I don't know if it's a prestigious trophy, but it's a prestigious game. It's two winners from last season. I think that, and he brought it back. You're like, no, that's a legitimate. And I was like, yeah, go for it, Guardiola. And he's made all the cup competitions serious because he's started pulling trebles out of bag.
That's it. And do you know what? Like, when it comes to winning things, you're a winner or you're not a winner, and you can hide behind the guise of going, oh, well, we don't want that, we're chasing something else or whatever.
Yeah, it's
but for me, it's like if you're awarded something, it should be you should treat it as an honor, because it is an honor. Like it doesn't matter on how you rank that honor. If that's not, Premier League is better than winning the championship. We all know that, of course it is.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that if you win the championship that you shouldn't celebrate it.
Or no, because we're going to go crazy, aren't we? So
because we're Leeds United, we should be going up as fucking champions because that's who we are. Well, some would argue, yeah, but I just go, but we fucking won it and we've gone up as fucking champions. Let's enjoy it. Like, it's part of the sport.
I don't want to finish second either. This idea that it's just about going up. It's just about going up. But I want to win it. I think it's really important to win it. And like under Bielsa, it were like, we need to win the league here. Like, I want to go up at second, and I'd take it now if I had to, but I want to win the league. I want to be the best team in the league, and then you go get whatever you get the year after, don't you? Because also on that, there'd be no point going up if your only interest was to just be decent in the league. Why would you sort of try and be better? Do you know what I mean? Even at a shit level, when I'm playing six-a-side, it's like when we drop down to a lower league, beat everybody easy. And then it's like, oh, we're going to go up, and we all want to win league. And then you go up, and you're playing against decent six-side teams. You start getting beat a lot more. It's like, well, do you want to be in league below? It's like, well, no, not really, because you want to see how good you are, don't you? Because like the Harrisons of the world and stuff, who get loads of shit on my channel, so maybe I shouldn't have said Harrison, but the reason why he wanted to stay in the Premier League is it's like his last chance. He had to stay in the Premier League. There's no, but for him, he's a better footballer in the Championship. So what? Unless you're all aiming to be better, then do you know what I mean? You could just be a big fish in a small pond, but the majority of competitive people don't want to be that, don't they? So, and it's the same with clubs. They want to win stuff. I certainly want to win something.
Every sports person wants to win whatever it is that's available to them. I just don't subscribe to the idea that people try less for other for other cups. I just think that, and if they do, I just question the professionalism, and I question the desire to win. Like, winners want to win no matter what it is. It's like, I want to win no matter what it is. I just want to win it. And I think that fans are the same. Like, I always find it a bit weird when fans go like, oh, well, I'm glad we're out of the FA Cup. Unless we're like in a relegation fight and you just think, I don't want to get relegated, and maybe let's
a difference.
Let's see how we get on in the cup, because we've really got to just concentrate on the league. There's a slight argument for that, but at the same time, I think you've said it before on some of the stuff you've said about just going, these sportsmen are not going to be absolutely fatigued and knackered and unable to, lace up a pair of boots for the next game. They might be a little bit leggy or whatever, but they are conditioned for this. And if they're not, then they're not as good a footballer as the other players that are conditioned for it, that play more games than them. I know the Championship's a pretty hard ride, to be fair. There's more games and it's pretty fast and furious. But, you think about the top players in the top teams, they're playing, absolute elite level football where they've not, maybe not playing as many games, but their sharpness and their ability to be able to make things happen in certain moments, has to be so precise. If not, they're benched.
Well, they don't get a rest. It's not like, in Championship, you could argue if you're a proper decent player, I know it's a frantic game, but you can't tell me that when Tanaka and Gruev's on ball and stuff, that they're having a bit of a rest. They're having a bit of, a couple of minutes and playing ball about back and stuff. The top teams do that, and it is a rest mechanism that it's like, get a bit of time in. But if you're playing at an elite level and you're having to, and there is not a second where your mind can switch off because the De Bruynes of the world are going to rip you a new one. It's like, it's a total another level of fitness you've got to get to in Premier League. That's why there's less teams in it, because it devalues. There'd be more teams in it, wouldn't there? There'd be more money, more games, more. But it isn't. It devalue the league, wouldn't it? There has to be a select amount of teams in there to keep the standard so high.
It's easy for me to say, though, because I was always a goalkeeper. So,
well, yeah,
I could play as many games as I needed to. I'd never, the only time I've ever experienced running outfield was not a good experience for me. So I don't speak from a lot of a good place when I say like these players they can keep playing. Because I just did a lot of standing there. And
well, I did as well though, Dave, and I played outfield, so that's the problem. So I knew there were hard yards to be done. I just didn't want to do them. Like I don't know how these lads do it because I can see them yards need doing. I just don't want to do them. Like signing out. But it's no good. It's no good. Honestly, definitely, I'd have probably been better off in net myself, to be fair. But yeah, what do you reckon? What do you reckon percentage-wise? Champions up?
I'm still confident. I still am really confident. Obviously, everything's grouped up now, and it's a little bit hairy.
It looks a bit dodgy now, doesn't it? And it didn't.
It does. It does. And it's we all say. We all use that term Leedsy. It's very Leedsy for us to go and fuck it up now and have a big bender and just, literally just lose games left, right, and centre. It's not off the menu. I think every fan feels that it could happen because it's part of our history. We have done this sort of stuff before. But do I think it's going to happen this season? I don't know. I don't think we will. I think we will get results. I think we might lose a couple of games. I think we might draw a couple of games maybe. You can't predict the future, obviously, but I do think we'll win games as well. And I don't think we'll have that big wobble. I think that Farke is chosen his team. He's chosen his side. I think he will recklessly use them now. Like even if he knackers Dan James to the point that he's completely unusable next season, I think he'd still do it just to win the league. I think it might have been Lockie on Just Joe when you guys were talking about it. I think it was just going, I will do anything that I need to do to do my job right now. And I really identified with that when he was talking about that. I'm going, this isn't a job interview for next season. This is his job interview right now. It's like, you use every tool that you have available to you to complete the job that you need to complete right now. And it doesn't matter about in next season, I'll have a new budget, new signings, there'll be people coming, people going. There could be a complete overhaul of whatever Farke wants to overhaul. But right now, he's got the tools he's got in front of him and he's got to use them however he deems fit. And if that means absolutely fucking them up to no return, then fine, I'll do that. Like I'll knacker them out and I'll do whatever I need to do to get the job done. And I think he will, personally.
And the argument is, Farke, they'd say Bielsa run them into the ground, wouldn't they, for instance, and Farke's going to overuse them and stuff. Well, but then the same people would say, well, the only job is to get out of the league. It's like, well, so what if, and I mean this with the greatest respect to Dan James, who's played a lot of minutes, or Aronson, if they break down with 4 games to go and the job's basically done, they break down with 4 games to go and he has to switch it up. But while ever they're not breaking down, it's like, what? So you want me to save him and potentially lose points today? It's like, I'm worried about today. I'm not worried about the game in 3 days or the game after that. I need to win this game. Do you know what I mean? It's the most important game of the season every time now.
Yeah. And it's not season management anymore. It's not like, okay, rest them because we've got a big game coming up in X, Y, and Z. It's now chips are down. This is my starting 11. And we kind of know who's going to start now. And there's a little bit of a question around midfield, isn't there, where we kind of go, is Gruev going to come in? How's he going to play? How's he going to set up his midfield and stuff? But other than that, it kind of seems like if there's no injuries, we kind of expect a certain team to come out for him now, and there might just be a little tinkering to do in midfield. But we know who the side is, and I'm all for that really. Now I'm just like, right, we know that we're good. We know that we can play football. We know that we can win games. We've proven it all season. How many have we lost? 4 games this season.
Yeah, 4.
Drawn.
Mad.
Yeah, it's
drawn 11, which is quite a few in fairness, but
it is. But we're not losing games, and I think that I'm fully behind him personally, and I just obviously I don't feel super confident in terms of thinking, yeah, we're going to piss the league, because I don't think we will now. But I also think that we'll go up, and I think we'll go up as champions, because Sheffield United and Burnley have got to win the same amount of games that we've got to win.
Oh, I think he got some jitters when as soon as he said Sheffield United have got to win the same amount of games. Some jitters kicked in for old boy there. He was on the wobble. He was in the zone as well. Brother Beast out, yeah. Thank you, Andrew. Cheers for tuning in, man. Positive brother, that's what you want. He's a legend. Both my brothers are awesome. I don't know whether he'll drop back in or not, but he works his nuts off, does old boy, and still gets his game time in. That's what I mean. He does himself a disservice as well about being a Leeds, like knowing stuff about footy. He's watched footy his whole life, and he's followed us like, you know, he's been all around. Lived in London for years, lived in Manchester for years, and still followed us. It's not, Dave, it says you're there, but there's no mic or camera connected, so I can't connect you, it says. Oh, we're in, I think. We're back.
Can you see me?
Yeah, we're back. Yeah, I think it just zoned out.
Yeah, well, it said that it wasn't, like the page had stopped working and the user had dismissed me.
Well, funny, I didn't dismiss you.
The user has binned you off.
Was...
An absolute wolf. This is my best football chat that I've got. I've told, like, out of the three of us, just for anybody that's in this conversation, I am the least knowledgeable out of the three brothers.
I don't know why I keep saying that. I've just said to everybody there, you've done yourself a real disservice.
Jack's always been like, Jack and John, the older one, has always been like football. Like, it's been their whole life. They've been always like, you know, brilliant footballers as well as knowing loads about football. And then I've just been the goalkeeper that they always used to smash footballs at, like in childhood. I was just the one.
That was just John, Dave. I were in net as well. I got pelted as well. If you want there, I got out of net every now and again. That was my only chance of getting out of net was to get you outside. You know, like you'd normally be going out with your mates or something, and I was like, Dave, just please come out so that I can go out and goal for a minute. I did. I just got battered. It were crazy days that though. I want to just ask you something a bit. It's not serious, Dave, but like, did you think when you went to London and stuff, did you? Because we're all from Leeds, all three of us, but did you feel more? Because obviously you live back up these ends now, don't you? I don't know what my question is, and I've just said I'm asking you a question, but did you feel more affinity? Did you know you were always going to come home? I know you're not a million miles away, but do you know what I mean? Because you spent, you know, a large part of your life outside of Leeds, didn't you?
Yeah. I don't know. I never really thought about it when I was younger. You just kind of you do. But
did you feel more like you were from Leeds when you went away?
Oh, 100%. Like, yeah. I think I sounded more Yorkshire when I went down to London in particular.
Yeah.
Because I you know, obviously I think we're all quite proud of our, you know, identity, and I think that when I was down there in particular, I were in a place where there were quite a few people that had a few quid and stuff like that, and they were you know, quite well spoken, and I went the other side of it. I almost made a caricature of myself, if anything. Do you know, it was like I had to make sure that everyone knew that I was the Northerner. But I think it's just that kind of proud of your heritage, proud of who you are, and you know, I like to think I've still got my accent, but some people say I don't have an accent. I'm like, I still think I do. Well,
yeah, maybe, you do. Yeah, you do.
Talking absolute wolf.
When you were in London, who did you go to games with them? Were they Southerners?
Yeah. Well, no, not to the Leeds games. No, they were all up from Leeds, and they come down and they come and stay with me.
Of course, right? Yeah, so you meet up with people.
Yeah, well, it was like Wayne, Jason, Mally, like they'd all come down.
I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah. So
I thought you meant
when I lived in London, I lived with a diehard Liverpool fan that went to Anfield. He had a season ticket at Anfield, so he'd go to Anfield. And when he went up to Anfield, I went to, which you already had on your chat, I went to Fulham. I went to Fulham games.
Yeah, I said that, didn't I?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I released the video, the audio tapes.
Yeah, well, they were my Premier League team because Leeds were out of Prem, and I wanted to see some Premier League football, and I could get dirt cheap Fulham tickets because they'd never sell out, so you could just go to the place. And they used to sell them. You could go on like the ticket exchange and get them for £5, like literally
Crazy
£5.
that, isn't it?
I saw
Scary
Man
that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I am talking like 27, 2007, like quite a while ago now.
But
Well, I saw Man City with, who was the first one when Man City got loads of money? Mancini, was it Mancini that?
No, it was Hughes when they first got loads of money. They bought Robinho, didn't they, and Company and all them lot.
Yeah. If that were around 27, 2008 or somewhere around about there, I were watching Man City for £5. I saw a game for £5, and it was just mental because they just got cheap ticket exchange, but they wouldn't sell it out at Craven Cottage. But I mean, the atmosphere. I don't know if any of people have ever been at Craven Cottage before, but the atmosphere was turgid.
Was it?
Oh God, yeah.
I used to have a little thing for Fulham. I used to like them, like you say.
I like them. I like the kit. I like the
I did.
They ate Chelsea.
Yeah,
and it was literally down the road from me, so it was just I could walk to the games, and they were cheap, and I was skint, so it just all kind of aligned.
Is it right on River? Is it right on River? Yeah,
right on River. It was great, and the fans were good. I mean, it was just the atmosphere was pretty poor. I just remember like Fulham scored once, and everyone just clapped, and they cheered, but there was more clapping than cheering. And I've only ever experienced Ellen Road, and when someone scores, you can't hear clapping. Put it that way. But it was just this very kind of like yes,
brilliant.
Yes.
Love it. More the same. Waiting for impact.
Yeah,
there's somebody going to come tumbling down now on us.
Yeah.
To be fair, Dave, it's worth mentioning. I won't keep you because I know you. Obviously, it's late. Not late. I'm not saying I'm sure you've been out of bed this late before. I've seen you on a night out, but it's worth mentioning that the Sunderland last minute winner, how mental that was. So just
I still carry injuries from that celebration.
Well, I was in agony in the morning, and not much really happened to us, was it? But it was just obviously because we all standing cop, don't we? So the chairs are like really inappropriately placed on your shin, aren't they? So you get pushed like right over the top, don't you? And then you sort of
I faced the wrong way, so I was going backwards. So I was just going that way as everyone was piling onto me. But my legs were still on the concrete, so it was just my calves that were just getting cut into the plastic seat. And I was just going back like that, and then that was it. I was trying to hold on to you, but then more people were just coming on top, and
because you can't go as well. Because the last thing you want to do is go. So you're really hanging on because you think if I go down there, I don't know what happens to me after that. It's like you're off into snake pit, aren't you? Where you're just going to get trodden on by a lot of people that don't know you at that point. So you try to it wasn't a celebration for me. It was just survival mode.
Hang on. Yeah, I was hanging on to you, but I was getting absolutely destroyed. But it was well worth it. It was worth every cut and bruise.
It passed me by. Yeah, it was mental. John went running down to the front, didn't he? Just got out of the way of it all.
He's in all camera videos, isn't he? Giving it this.
Yeah, he's literally right up front. Yeah, abusing that man by accident in front of him. He's like all over the top of him, and he like pushing him down. That poor bloke's up front, like just getting back at arm into back at head. It was awful. But it was a mint game.
We were wild though. We were wild, and just like experiences like that. I mean, there's been a few at Ellen Road, and then a few just when the away games that I've been to and stuff like that. It's just the memories that you'll never forget. Like I say, like Man United, all them years ago, I still remember it. And going to Tottenham in all FA Cup runs as well. Like some of my favourite away days. Again, talking about old silverware and all those memories. It's like some of the best days I've had have been the away days because, especially in the cup, like playing Tottenham, went to I've been to Millwall twice, and that's supposed to be like quite an intimidating place, with riot control and all that sort of stuff, and it is a little bit intimidating to a degree. But the scariest place I've ever been to an away day was bloody White Hart Lane. It was mental at White. It was a night game. And it was proper spicy there. I mean, we were trying to get into the the turnstiles, and there's only like a certain allotted amount for the away fans, and all the Tottenham fans were all lined up right by it, so you had to walk toward them, even if you didn't want to walk toward them. You had to walk toward them to get in, and the police just thought, oh, we'll just make a little line right by the turnstile, so you were literally like 3 widths of a human away from like the angriest fucking Tottenham fans you've ever met, and they're all throwing bottles at us and everything, and you just queuing like that, just like stood next to them, like this far away, just queuing, going, getting pelted by a bottle and going, Christ, that hurt. Right, okay, can we just get through these turnstiles? It was mental. It was so hostile. And then afterwards, they were all police horses charging for all Leeds fans like it was us that had created all.
Yeah, that all, I know. I mean, that's...
but not them. They were all just like penned behind a line, just like they were the well-behaved citizens, and we were all there to cause massive stink. It was proper bad. I mean, I've never seen it that bad before. And the Millwall stuff, we got penned in for like an hour afterwards and taken on a train where we didn't even know where it was going, and then they just let us out, to try to kind of manage the trouble. And there was no drama there at all. But like in Tottenham, it was like wild scenes.
Yeah, they've apparently sorted it at Millwall, haven't they? Like you don't even see each other, do you? It's like like you say, you get shepherded away, and then on way in, there's like not a wall, but like a metal wall so you literally never.
You just go down. You go down a tunnel, so you come off a train. It says home fans and away fans, and you just go down the away fans thing, and then it takes you around. You never see them until you get into the ground. Yeah. But when we got into the ground, they were kicking off, and so then some of the Leeds fans were just pulling the seats up and throwing them onto the pitch, and then so the Millwall fans at the end of the game wouldn't leave. Like there were just like 2 pockets of them because we were right at the end. There was just 2 pockets of them either side, and they wouldn't leave. So we had to stay there, but they weren't telling the home fans to leave. It was a bit mental.
It's so embarrassing.
But they were all just there, just like about 100 of them on each side, just giving it large. But so Leeds fans just started ripping seats up and throwing them onto the pitch, which again I don't condone, but it was quite funny because it was really, really angering the Millwall fans.
It's funny if you're not doing it, innit? It's like I didn't do it, but I can't say I didn't find that funny. Do you know what I mean? It's like I wasn't doing it, but that's funny.
Yeah, I was just there, just going, when are we allowed out? I mean, and there were helicopters coming out over the top. It was crazy. Just like, but you were everything was safe, like because it was a controlled environment. Tottenham, it was completely different. It was absolutely mental because we were all just allowed to just mingle, apart from this pathetic little police line just before the game. And after the game, it were a free for all, and you just thought, all them lunatics, they're all in the ground somewhere. And we all had Leeds tops on, but we were all like just young lads, just a group of us.
You're allowed to wear a away strip, aren't you?
Yeah.
I quite like it. Sometimes I think it was Stoke fans, I think it were a night game. I think it was last year, and they were marching. There were a group of about 20 of them. But I quite like it, as long I don't obviously want any bother. But they were marching around the whole ground. You can sort of get round. They were like doing like you can't get all the way around it without going in, but they were sort of like doing a 180 of it, and there were just about 20 of them, and they're all just chanting, but marching through, like, like on the main road by Ellen Road, and it probably called Ellen Road, that road, actually, ironically. Duh. But yeah, they were just singing songs, and I was like, and a lot of people were laughing. It was pretty mint. I remember them being mint. Portsmouth were brilliant when they came this year, first game of the season. They were awesome. But to be honest, we get a bit of shit for our Ellen Road atmosphere at the minute, and it's totally unwarranted. It's just the little bit of expectation. We sort of bound to win every game. It's a little bit like, and everybody knows we sort of need to win games. So I think a lot more people are watching as opposed to just aggressively being like, I don't mean aggression in the full sense of the word, but like being proper bang up for it and just being like, let's just be the 12th man. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there's any need for, we're so significantly the best team. Because then when a big team does come to Ellen Road, we're bang up for it. Ellen Road's rocking. So, and then like when we beat Norwich in semi-finals, that was the most wild. I've been at Champions League games, everything for Ellen Road, and that was the most wild atmosphere. It literally, like, I'll never forget that atmosphere. And that had nothing to, nobody was watching game at that. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, we need to make as much noise as we can, get right behind boys. And I'm just hoping, to be honest, that I really want this last 8 games, the charge to go. I just want everybody to be fully behind. I'm going to push my hardest for for the little level of influence I have.
I think it will because there's jeopardy, and I think that there's just a bit of expectation that creeps in. Like you say, we should win this, but because everything's piled up now, if we were 8 points clear, 9, 10, 12 points clear, these last 8 games will probably be a bit tepid in terms of, yeah, we're the better team, we should win. If we lose, it's not the end of the world because they might gain on us, but we're still 5 points clear. It's all that sort of jazz. And I think that because it has bunched up a little bit, there's loads of jeopardy there. Hopefully it doesn't leak into the players, but in terms of the atmosphere, I think, we do need to be the 12th man because we do need to help our team get over the line because it's not a gimme and it's not going to be an easy load of fixtures because everyone loves to scout Leeds. It's always been the case when we went to League One.
Yeah.
We go and play Leyton Orient and they would literally bang up for it because they were playing Leeds and we were in League One and we had relatively shit team. They'd want to beat us because we'd bring thousands down and they'd love to just stick it to us. And I think that now there's a bit more of that jeopardy. I think that Ellen Road will be cooking again. But, when we go up, if we go up, when we go up, you get that. I remember when we were under Bielsa and we were in Premier League and I was watching games and I'm like, absolutely going wild over a 0-0, going fucking great point, yes, just buzzing to be getting that point up on the board because you needed it for whatever reason. It's just a great feeling to be in and amongst playing like elite level football. But my God, it's stressful. It's
awful. It's torrid. It's not really the getting battered to the best teams because that sort of rarely happens. I know we went on a bit of a bad run with the 5 games where Bielsa sort of got tonked. But in terms of getting beat to the big teams, it's rare that you get a thumping. You're never that bad where it's 5-0 every week. But you sort of take them. For me, it's like the random. I said to Joe earlier, like it's Crystal Palace and stuff where you just like, oh, I know they're decent, but it's like we need some out of this game. So the lower you end up in a lower league, don't you? Within the league, and you're like, this is massive. And then that game has just as much jeopardy as Scum does, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like it evens out because you actually need the point, deserve the points, or want the points in that game. Whereas with Man U, you just think, well, I'll desperately want to beat them and how amazing it'd be if beat them. But you go 4-0 down to them, you go, I'll just sort of like, just have if you're in pub, you just go, should we just have a few drinks and wait till game finishes? Do you know what I mean? It's like, we're going to beat us anyway, so you just sort of throw a towel in a bit on it, don't you?
Well, I work with a lot of Evertonians, like filming a lot in Liverpool. It's like there's quite a few Liverpool fans, but most of them are like diehard Evertonians. And obviously they've been circling around the sink for a while, since we were. Yeah. And they've just been constantly just dodging relegation. I know they've bounced out of it now under Moyes.
Moyes is good, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, the lads I'm talking to at the moment, they're absolutely buzzing with the appointment and also just obviously what he's done with them. But I've said to them, I'm like, it's horrible going down. It's horrible, but it's really nice to be winning games a lot and have that winning feeling a lot and expect to win a lot. And yes, it's totally different to being in the Premier League. We all want to be in the Premier League, and I totally want to be back there and, celebrating over 0-0s and all that sort of stuff. But I have enjoyed my time in the Championship, and I hope that comes to an end this season because it'll just really tie off this time in the Championship in quite a positive light. It sucked. I was with you when we lost, when we got knocked out at playoffs. So we all went out to watch the game, and it was fucking shite.
Well,
and it was horrible.
I couldn't see a thing either.
It was shite. But then we all we were drinking all afternoon, then we went to the pub and we got more drunk, and then we just forgot about it a little bit and just kind of like was like, all right, we reset, and it was fine. And then this season, it's been good. It's been really good. I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed watching the games. I've enjoyed winning. I watch it with my kids, and my kids like the fact that we're scoring because they're just young and they're just like up for the fact that it's like goals are going in the back of the net. and they're just supporting the white team, and they're like, what colour are we supporting? You know, it's like, oh, we're the white today, and then the goals are going in. It's just nice to be like enjoying football and it not being this really, really stress-inducing, like fucking intense thing where you're just like, you're playing Palace and you're like, it's a fucking big game. We need this to stay up. Like that's a lot, and we're going to have that next season if and when we go up. That's going to come back again, and I think that this is why I'm trying to like be really grateful for the season we've got this season and go. It's going to be a bit of a spicy finish. It's going to be a little bit intense. There's going to be some wins and some losses. But you know what? We've had a really good season. We had a good season last season. Like we just had a freakishly weird season where two other teams managed to score more points than us, which is so rare. So 2 good seasons, really, with a shit end to last season and hopefully a really good end to this season. So 2 seasons is 2 years of a short life where we're winning football games a lot more than we're losing them. So I just think these last 8 games, I'm just going to enjoy them. And I'm just going to go, do you know what? It's good to be a Leeds fan. It's good to be winning games. It's good to be the best team in the league, which we are. And next season, I'm probably going to feel a lot different because it's going to be like, we're not the best team in the league. We're not going to win many games. It's going to be a bit of a hard slug. And hopefully, if we can get 12th, it's a right result.
I know. Can you imagine 12th? Would be what a season would have had. It is crazy. It's like, because like you say, end of last season, it was like, if we didn't go up, we don't go up, right, whatever, like, and I didn't like it. And then it's like day after, you're like, well, we'll win loads of games next year. We'll do. But like this year, everybody's aware we have to go up because this doesn't last forever in the Championship. If we never get up and out of here, we'll end up being like, and we'll drop.
Dog shit. Like we did.
Like we did. Get out.
Like we didn't bounce. And then we just went into mid-table, and then we just plummeted out, and it was just turgid. And then
nobody wants to turn up.
Every company that just came in just took everything out of the club, and everyone. It was just like a smash and grab job. It was like you had a little shop, and every time you put the window back up and restocked it, someone would just smash the window and just take it all out. And that was like our life for 15 odd years. Where you're just like, oh my god, like. Does any other millionaire want to come in and just make a load of money out of us and just rip everything out of the club and just leave the fans just,
supporting the same shit.
The next cesspool. And now we're just on we've come out of that side now, and everything just is in the past few years, now past 5-6 years, whatever. Everything's been on the up, even though we've had relegations and stuff. It's like Bielsa, everything past Bielsa has just been really positive, minus the relegation with Jesse Marsh and all that sort of woof that just stunk the place out for a bit. Even all that, like in spite of all that, for the past 15 years it's been absolute turgid. So I'd be like, well, okay, I'll take a bit of shitball from Jesse Marsh.
But it was worth it. I certainly didn't want him in, but it was worth it. And like you say, like that's why I'm surprised how quick people are. Why we're jumping on Farke's back. You'd take Farke now all day long. Like if we hadn't had Bielsa, Farke would be Bielsa really in everybody's eyes. It'd be like what he's done. It took Bielsa 2 years. I know Bielsa really didn't have the side that Farke has got, but I don't
or anything. But he changed everything, didn't he? He changed like everything, and it all like anything. It all happens on the the foundations. Everything's all just like the foundations, and if you've got the right foundations, everything starts to work. And it's like anything I ever do in my line of work, it's like all you got to do is get all your prep right. Everything's got to be absolutely pitch perfect, and you get all that right, and then when it actually comes to doing the stuff that you need to do, things just happen better. It works better, and Bielsa did all that, and he managed to do all that, and then everyone else has benefited from that. I think like in terms of management, and that's even Jesse Marsh benefited from Bielsa because he took a team on that he couldn't quite do the job with, but luckily they'd had they had the skills to kind of make him get to the end of the season. And
But it was the embers of Bielsa that kept us up. I don't care what anybody says.
But you know, and this is
a
a controversial comment. I don't know if you'll agree with this, but it's something I felt at the time and felt quite strongly about. Is like I would have gone down with Bielsa.
Oh, 100%, man. I swear.
Yeah, I would have. I'd have gone. Okay, you know, even if I could have been, if it could be like, well, take Jesse Marsh and maybe not go down, but take Bielsa and definitely go down. I'd be like, he got us up. I was so behind him. I was so behind him and behind what he did and everything. And he wasn't perfect. No one is, but what he brought back to me as a fan, I think would be why I felt so kind of like ridiculously stubborn about going, well, I'll go down with him then, because he gave me back the good feeling of being a football fan again. And I haven't felt that for ages. I felt used and abused by Leeds United for many years, to the point where it was like, I don't know if I want to keep going to see them anymore. And that's a devastating place, considering that we've grown up our whole lives being massive fans and only talking about Leeds United. And the club took a little bit of that out of me and made me kind of not feel very strongly about them for a time. And that got like that fuel, that passion, that sense of community, that sense of being a Leeds fan. It all just came back in so much more profound way when Bielsa was back at the helm. And since he's gone, that fire still burns, because, you know, the legacy lives on, and the club is, you know, obviously really close to us all, and always will be. But it has bent us over a barrel for a few years as well, and taken it, you know, taken a little bit from us and not given anything back. And I felt like when we got to Bielsa, we got something back for a bit, and I think it's still there now. And under Farke, no comparison. Like, they're two completely different managers, but I'm like well behind Bielsa and well behind Farke and everything, and Bielsa, but well behind Farke and everything he's doing now. And he's not Bielsa, and he's a different manager. And
you don't want to be Bielsa. And I know Marsh came in and he were like trying to be the opposite of Bielsa, try to sort of blame Bielsa for bits and bats, and then sort of like try to say, I don't care whether these fans sing my name. You've never heard that a bean out like that out of Farke. There's no bitterness in him. He's very like, I think he knows, because I actually heard somebody said this, that there's no Farke chanter out, and I thought, oh shit, there actually isn't. But it's not that I don't think Farke cares, because Marsh is in. Don't know if you've seen that in changing room where he's saying, I don't care if they sing my name. It's all about you lads and all this stuff. So I don't believe you. Whereas with Farke, I think in his head, he knows that we actually like him a lot, but he's not. I don't know. I don't properly know how to say that, but I think he's less concerned. I truly think he's not concerned about whether we're singing his name or not. I think he knows we really like him and appreciate him.
The thing is Farke's there to do a job, and that job is with a massive club, and it's to get us up. And Farke, if we sing his name or we don't sing his name, his job spec doesn't change and his mentality doesn't change. He doesn't need us to sing him a song for us to get up, you know, like, oh, that's going to really help me, guys. Thank you very much. That's going to help me make a better decision on the football pitch. I think he's so pragmatic and sensible in his approach, and stubborn as well. I mean, he's massively stubborn. We know that it's like, this is how I do things, and you don't have to like it, but I'm the gaffer, and this is how I do it. That's the way it is. So if you don't like it, go and get your training badges, go and be a manager, and go and take my job off me, and you do it then. And you tell me how I should be doing it better when you're at that level. You know what I mean? I think that there's a certain thing where as a manager, you have to have your own identity, and you have to have your own sense of worth and all these sorts of things. And I think it goes for any job role that you've got, like, you know, in any line of work that you've got. It's like there's your predecessors. It's like, do you want to copy your predecessor, or do you want to be your own person and do your own job to the best of your ability? And I think that Farke's going, my predecessor has been, you know, like legends like Bielsa, and there's other legends as well. Leeds United has got a long history of legendary managers, but he's going, I'll be my own legend in my own way.
That's the point.
and I'm going to do it the Daniel Farke way. And you might not chant my name and make a statue of me or anything like that. It doesn't matter. But I'm going to be the best version of Daniel Farke that I can be, and that's going to be with me with a Leeds United badge on my crest. You know, the crest on my top.
And there won't be a bad word said about him in our history. There'll be nobody saying anything bad about him in the years to come. Do you know what I mean? My point, you literally said what I was trying to say. So I think Marsh came in unhappy to be in Bielsa's shadow, and I think Farke came in thinking there's a Bielsa shadow there, but I'm not trying to stand in it. Do you know what I mean? Marsh felt like he was in this like shady place rather than just coming in and being like, even when Allardyce got here, he owned it and he was just like sat in press conference and did his Allardyce thing. And it's like, at least Allardyce is Allardyce. He won't bother about Bielsa, or I know he went straight in after him. Even that Gracia guy, obviously it was shit. He wasn't trying to be in Bielsa's shadow either. There was something wrong with Marsh in his head. He was obsessed with being like, he had an identity crisis.
It's ego. It's all ego, and everyone's got an ego. And Farke's got one. You know, every football manager, you have to have an ego. It's part of being a football manager. But it's just how you use that ego, how you manage other people's egos, and how like Farke is so. How he's the man that is in the job. And Lockie said it. I think it was Lockie the other night, when I was listening to the other night, whenever it was, and Lockie was saying like he's there to do a job, and that's in his job spec is to get us up, and that's all he's concentrating on. And it's like, and after that job spec has been fulfilled, then we'll see about the following job spec, and that'll be Farke in the Prem, hopefully. And I'll be fully behind him then. And you know, if
we'll see what happens when we get there.
Then you just go, okay, it's time to go. But thank you very much for getting us up. He's still a legend for what you've done. Like, you've got us up and where we want to be. He's just got to do his job right now, and that, I think that's all he's focusing on. And I think a lot of the noise around anything else, I don't know if he'll focus on that. And if he is focusing on that, and if he's focusing on what the fans think of him, I'd be really worried now as a Leeds fan, because I'd be like, oh, fuck me. You're just worried about what we think. Please don't worry about what we think. Concentrate on what's happening on the training ground, what the players think, and what the players need to do, because that is your job. And if you're listening to us and go, why aren't they singing my name? And why aren't I a legend? And why aren't this? Why aren't that? Then you're thinking about the wrong things. They're not important to you. You just need to focus on being a manager and being the best, being the most excellent manager you can be. And if you do that, you might get promoted, and then we'll all be singing your name anyway. So it's a byproduct of success, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Perfectly put.
Serious and respectable. I've never, legendary MVG, known Jack to be serious and respectable. It's always got to be somewhere.
I'm presuming that's bestiality as well, because there was I can't even remember what I said, but it was something about a donkey on Scarborough Beach or something, and I can't remember what it is. I wish I had this software. I'll be able to clip it up right easy, but I've only just got it. But it's pretty good, this, to be fair, this software thing that JustJoe made me get. I had JustJoe on earlier, Dave. I don't know if you saw that.
Only the back end. I've only just come into the room.
Yeah, it was mint. He's a legend, Joe. He's proper nice.
So just the back end of it as it was coming off.
Just saw the back end of it. He's trying to get me back down that line. The back end of it is on MVG stuff there. Try to get me to go down the back end of stuff. Go down the wrong way, down the wrong aisle. The beers are still here from Tesco. I don't know where this has happened. I don't know why anybody thinks I've not had a drink tonight. As though it's like we only watch if I'm like super drunk. It was a donkey. Yeah, I thought it was a donkey. But yeah, Dave, do you have anything to share or anything? I don't want to keep you any longer than.
Yeah, well, I've got a super early start tomorrow. But no, I just wanted to come on and say hello.
I appreciate you coming on.
It's ludicrous because this is the only time I've seen you. There was one point when we were chatting earlier, because I obviously watch all your stuff, that I forgot that I was on it because you were making a point, and I just zoned into the fact that every time I watch you in this setting, I'm just watching your video. Thank God I didn't just start scratching my balls or something like that.
It'd have been fine. None of the boys would have minded. They'd have gone, it's real and raw is this channel. It's as raw as it gets. But yeah. But
So
yeah,
so it's been good. It's been nice. It's been nice to chat to you.
no, certainly. As you obviously more than welcome anytime. You'll go down in history as the third guest.
The third guest that spouted my only knowledge on the game. You've literally got all my knowledge on the game now, so I'm dry.
You keep doing yourself a disservice. Truly, could talk all night,
which we do quite often about football, and then we're not even arguing about football these days because there's nothing to really argue about.
That's what's mint about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what, when I get called an happy clapper and that, it's like, well, it'll go a bit tits up next year and we'll really start talking then. Do you know what I mean? There'll be serious
about where we need to improve, how we need to improve, who's lacking in what area. You know, those kind of micro analysis where you really start to look at a player and go, they're not cut out for it and they're our missing link, and what we need to do is strengthen there and there. You know, at the moment, we're solid and we're winning loads of games. It's really difficult to criticise a team. Well, I think it is, because I think it's unfair.
Yeah. That's why we need to back them, though. That's why you need to get behind them, because it's, you know, it's like, what more do you want from them, really?
Yeah. Do you know, my missus, we go to this football academy, my son does, and Dan James's kid goes. And my missus now talks to Dan James. And Dan James, they have a right little back and forth now. They're like best mates, and I'm gutted because I don't get to be friends with him. But he did say when it was after, I think it was after the Sunderland game, and she was like, "Oh God, it was a bit touch and go," because my missus watches footy as well, only because I've made her over the years. And he says, "Yeah, I think we've really got to give the Leeds fans a bit of an easier time and start scoring goals a little bit earlier." That's verbatim Dan James. Therefore, bit of an insight.
Tell your click story, Dave, because I think that's really funny. Because was that in COVID or because he were running?
Yeah. So during COVID, Click he lives near me, or lived near me, and he used to run past me. Because you go out on walks. COVID, you can only go out on walks and stuff. There's nowhere open, and then over time, because I think I was trying to play it cool by just like going past him and being like, just past him. But then every day he's running past me, and it's more like, all right, and then he's like, all right, as he's running by, and obviously this is all Bielsa days, and he was definitely doing his running, and it got to the point where I'd see him all the time, but I never got to talk to him. And then I saw him in a coffee shop, and I sat next to him, and he's got a dog, and I thought, this is fucking brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. I'm going to get to have a conversation with Click. And I had my two kids with me, and they're only little, but still are little.
Extremely well behaved as well, the two nippers.
Yes.
Just for clarity.
Yeah.
Makes it
and
funny.
Then the dog comes near my kids, the little dog, and my daughter is like, like that, because she's a bit nervous around dogs. And he's just like, oh, sorry, and moved away. And I'm like that, looking at my kids going, how is this close? All you had to do was stroke the dog. And then I could be like, all right, mate. So, yeah, missed opportunity.
Yeah, it's just funny because, as I say, your kids are so like nice and well behaved, and like and it's like you were like trying to chill into it, weren't you? Like, I'm gonna, play it really easy. I've got 10-15 minutes with him here by accident.
The tables were literally like, it's in a little coffee shop. The table was right next to him. I'm like, he was by himself. I thought, this is prime time. You run past me all the time. Yes, you don't recognize me. That's okay. I recognize you, and I will start this conversation when this dog starts to interact with my child.
Yes, I bring the dog over.
Yeah.
Did you pet the dog? Did you pet the dog?
No, the dog went straight to my daughter.
Really? Because that would have been your in, wouldn't it, to pet the dog?
In horror, and then he pulls the dog away. It's like, sorry.
Yeah, being nice.
Apologise, it's fine. Click.
That's where you wanted to be a knob, isn't it? That's why it'd have been better off being a knobhead, like going, oh, and luckily enough, he was right knobhead, he wasn't happy at all about it, and I ended up actually having an argument with him. But in reality, he's right nice. He seems like a right nice guy. I know you don't know players, but
I can only tell you from the 3.5 second pass bys that I've had, which
all you need
accumulate to a good 15 seconds of passing by.
Exactly, yeah. More interaction than you have with most.
It's an absolute legend of a fella.
Doggate, says Bing. top guest. You're getting the love. We've had a
nice.
£10 super chat as well here, which is madness from Legendary MVG. Legendary MVG. Never one for travelling. It's not my thing. I don't want to go to Cambodia. I don't want to touch an elephant or wank for donkey. I could do it at Scarborough Beach. That must be the quote. That must be what I said. And I thought because to be honest, as I was reading that, I read that I've never been one for travelling. It's not my thing. I thought, I'm literally reading it going, well, I'm on board with that. I don't want to go to Cambodia. I thought, yeah, neither do I, dude. And then I got to, I don't want to touch an elephant or wank for donkey. I was like, oh shit, I think this is me. And then obviously it is. Could do that at Scarborough Beach, which I do think. I stand by that comment.
There you go.
Not
my words.
Yeah. Oh, mental. Well, not mental. And then just to close as well, Dave, what's your favourite Alan Partridge quote at the moment? Me and my brother go through like patches where we just send each other anything on Instagram that pops up.
Yeah, well, you just sent me the latest Laser Quest one, and that is.
Oh my God.
I was going to send you it the other day. I saw it.
I sent you it, and that's not the one. It's funny but we was on about the radio show, would you remember? And we were on about how he says like, no, he's saying that, no, he's saying this, no, he's saying that, and he's having an argument with both of them saying the same thing.
Yeah,
and that's the end of that bit. But the Laser Quest one's tremendous.
It's brilliant.
There's
too many Partridge quotes to mention. They're just they all come out for different scenarios, for different needs.
Which is ironically another quote from another
legend,
legendary office, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also, I have to say this. Do you know that Lynx Africa has been discontinued today?
No
about 15 minutes before I came online, it's been discontinued. It took my breath away, that, much like Lynx Africa.
I was going to say.
It did. I was a bit like, oh shit. And the comments are sensational. The comments are so funny because everybody's like, oh, you know, I used to get lathered up on that, or my older brothers used to get lathered up on that before they went out to nightclubs and that. It was a sensation, wasn't it, Lynx Africa?
It was.
Changing rooms just reeked of it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
it was the classic go-to smell for any teenage boy in the 90s.
Tragedy.
From Africa and go out on the pull.
They must bring it back. They simply must bring it back. There'll be people going out and buying it in the bucket loads now. It'll go online for like when Prime are getting sold for 20 quid a bottle and stuff. Will it be like rocking horse shit, as they say?
Yeah. Everyone going to the super Cook past Babtridge.
Where it now says cock, where it once says it now says cook, where it once says cock.
Let's read.
That's a legendary. That's the smell my cheese, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I know everybody knows why that's funny. But as he's walking through the restaurant and he's shouting all them swear words out, so they quite an important guy.
One said piss. So,
also, as well, and we will close on this, Dave. Have you seen you've seen the first Happy Gilmore, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
Because the second one, I'm actually up for that. I wouldn't normally be up for it, but I thought Happy Gilmore was so funny. But I was only young, and like our eldest brother's not watched it because I put it in the group and he's not seen it, has he? But I don't know if I now watched it. I think I'd still find it funny on the basis that I used to find it really funny. Yeah. But Adam Sandler films can,
great.
They can go a bit, can't they? But they can be a bit like these aren't funny now, but
they don't age like a fine wine.
No. But what do you reckon? Do you reckon it'll be good? It's only on Netflix though, so. Although is that this is your field, so is that the new?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, yeah. Netflix have got ludicrous amounts of money,
like budget.
Yeah. They're making ace dramas. I mean, Adolescence at the moment. It's just the Stephen Graham thing. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but
no, Nikita, I don't watch out. Dave. I honestly don't.
I think it's worth checking out. It's good. It's a bit of a hard watch, but it's really, really good. Filmed by a Liverpool director. It's really good. But yeah, I think Netflix, Netflix got shitloads of money, and to get Adam Sandler to do the second one, they'll be paying him a shitload of money. Will it be good? Are many sequels better than the first? Terminator 2 is probably springs to mind.
I've never seen any Terminator, I get loads of shit. No, none of them, no.
Oh God, Terminator 2 is better than Terminator 1. I probably might get lampooned in the chat for that, but it's just wicked as Terminator 2. But yeah,
I can't imagine liking Terminator 2, but I know if I watched it, I'd be like, "Oh, this is mint." This it would be right, it'd be my thing, but I just.
It's great. Terminator 2 is mint. It's a proper good film. It's proper old now. I mean, I've not seen it for about 15 years, but yeah, I mean, Terminator 2 is just like the best sequel. It's better than the first for me, hands down. But most sequels never really quite live up to the original, especially if it's an absolute classic. You know, like you think like when it comes to funny comedy and stuff, think about Dumb and Dumber 2. Not as funny as Dumb and Dumber.
No.
Anchorman 2, not as funny as Anchorman. Like when it comes to comedies, when they try and do like legendary comedies, I think that they never.
They're not designed to go again, are they?
Not really. No. I mean, Dumb and Dumber 2. I love Dumb and Dumber. I love Jim Carrey. Anything Jim Carrey does, I know it's a bit chalk and cheese for some people. Like some people absolutely love him, and some people hate him. I can understand why people would hate him. I happen to think he's just brilliant, and I just love how stupid and goofy his films are. Many of his films are, but Dumb and Dumber 2, it just felt like you should just leave some stuff in the past and just kind of leave it in its legendary.
Am I right in thinking though, Dave? I thought were they like because there's 3, isn't there? Did they do that? There was Dumb and Dumber.
There was Dumb and Dumberer, which was.
But that wasn't them two, was it? Yeah.
No, Dumb and Dumber 2. TO rather than was both of them, and it was good, but part of me was thinking I'm only saying it's good because I'm biased and like quite obviously biased.
Yeah, because I mean the Partridge film got a bit of stick, didn't it? But we loved that, didn't we? Alpha Papa.
Yeah, but again, bias. I'm massively biased when it comes to watching films. I watched League of Gentlemen film. I'm biased to that because League of Gentlemen, I used to love League of Gentlemen when I was younger. But if you watch Alpha Papa, it's a little bit like Mid Morning Matters. If you ever watch Mid Morning Matters, the first time you listen to Mid Morning Matters, some of the jokes don't quite land. But then you watch it the second and the third time, and then you just get more and more jokes come out. It's just in the detail. And I think with Alpha Papa, although it's not like laugh out loud stuff, there's some stuff in there that's just really, really good. And the more you watch it, the funnier it gets. I do think.
Do you know what I thought the problem was? So I went to cinema for that, and that's a totally like because Alan Partridge in reality isn't laugh out loud, but in your living room or I'm sat sort of chilling watching some Alan Partridge on my laptop, it's laugh out loud stuff in it. But if you go in for a laugh, I don't know, going to the cinema is very serious and it's very like. I'm here to laugh. Do you know what I mean? And I sometimes don't find stuff funny like that. Whereas Alan Partridge, the whole point is he sort of you're chilling with him, aren't you? You're relaxing with him, and then he catches you off guard, sort of thing.
I just think he's so funny. This time, that magazine show that he does is just brilliant. It's just brilliant. And again, the first time I watched it, I laughed a bit, and then I watched it again, and then laughed even more, and now I just think I laugh at everything he does. It's like it's really, really layered and really, really funny, and totally rips the piss out of magazine shows. But I mean, Alan Partridge can do absolutely anything. He's doing another series of something at the moment now about mental health, and I can't remember what it's called now, but it'll be coming out soon because I think it's being filmed. I know a few people that have worked on it, and it's supposed to be really good. But anything he does now. He's brilliant. His audiobooks are funny as funny as anything. It's just really good.
His audiobooks they are laugh out loud. They've caught me off guard when he's drowning or he thinks he's drowning. When he's like gargling and he's like and it's he does the Netflix thing. There's no point in trying to say it, but
is that the
started at the end?
The Outhouse.
Yeah.
That's his
I've started at the end.
The Outhouse. Yeah, that's just brilliant. He's a genius when it comes to Alan Partridge, and I think he's admitted himself now. He's finally come to the age that Alan Partridge is, so he can write for him even better because he always played him really young and played an older guy. Yeah, and now he's the age he is. He can really, really identify with Partridge.
Who's your favourite actor?
Oh, I don't know. When it comes to comedy. And a comedy character, I'd say Steve Coogan in Alan Partridge, without a doubt. but then there's so many different roles and different like types of things, and there's like more versatile actors, and then there's actors that just do really good films, and you know, I've always liked Leonardo DiCaprio, for example. He's always done really good films. It's like he's always acting.
He's amazing.
He's always been versatility there. But it's always I like all of his films, and there's only a few that have been a bit like not that bothered about.
See, this is what we're up against. Movie chat. Thought you didn't do movies. I don't, but the ones that I have seen, I'm not suggesting I've never watched a movie before or ever had the TV on in my life, but I genuinely don't watch. I don't watch stuff really. If it's just come out, I might get round to it. But it's like Game of Thrones, any sort of series, Game of Thrones. I know you like that, didn't you, Dave?
Loved it. Yeah, it's great.
I've not watched a minute of that. I can't do it. Breaking Bad. Did you watch that?
Yeah, it's great.
I've never watched it. I end up watching that stuff.
Sopranos.
You what?
Sopranos.
I've watched a series of Sopranos. One series of Sopranos. To be fair, yeah. I like Sopranos. I like gangster films though. I do watch them.
Yeah. There's some ace gangster stuff.
Have you seen that El Chapo? We've been watching that El Chapo. You know, that's pretty mint. But it's like it's all like overdubbed, but that's pretty cool. But it's too long. We're like 4 series, and I got past the first series, and I was like, how many more times can this bloke get arrested and escape? But it's actually real life. That's the madness of El Chapo. But I feel like El Chapo myself. It's like breaking. What was that called? Prison Break. That's on its like 150th series now or something in it.
It's classic American, like make it until they don't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah, it's mad.
Like, make more and more and more until they hate it, and then just ram another series down the throat, gorge on it, and then we'll give it up.
That one mint though, wasn't it? 'Cause I remember watching that as a kid, like Channel 4 or something. I think it were on
Prison Break.
Yeah.
Prison Break quality, but then it's got ludicrous, like everything when you just try and write more and more and more story for the same thing. You know, it's just how much story can we hammer out of these characters?
Like Lost, they did that, didn't they? Lost did that. I never watched a single Lost.
Loads of American drama do it, and a bit of English drama, but it's mostly the American kind of market where it's just like, if you think about The Office, the American Office, which is quite funny. I've watched it. I think Steve Carell's just a really funny guy.
He's a funny guy, yeah, he is.
But they've absolutely pasted the amount of episodes. I mean, it's just, it goes on for seasons and seasons. I don't know how many seasons it's got, but I'm going to guess at like 10. I'm probably underestimating there. It's ludicrous how many. And there's only 2 Christmas specials and 2 seasons of The Office.
Yeah, there's only 2 series. Yeah, he never does more than 2 series, does he?
Yeah. 2 Christmas specials. Braveheart.
That's
Braveheart.
Yeah. Nothing. I've never seen Braveheart, but Legendary's having me, ripping me a new one because I made a joke to somebody in White Hart at top of Ellen Road Street, and then obviously anything that I say on here, Legendary seems to have absolutely on lockdown, and he always. I called these Lithuanian lads. They put it on me a bit. I was on my own. I think I'd been with Lance. We'd been at game, and he'd gone. Oh no, I think I'd been in hospitality, so I was really pissed or something. I can't remember, and I'd gone up to. I was on White Hart on my own. I was waiting for a taxi because it's hard to get out of Ellen Road, and so I thought rather than just run off, I'll just wait for a taxi. And then these Lithuanian guys came in. I think they were Lithuanian. And I was sat at the bar and they were chatting to me, and he goes to me, I can't remember how it went, but he says, where do you think I'm from? So as a joke, because I said to them, I was like, because I think it's mint, like, where are you lads from? And they were like, we're from Leeds. And I was like, what, like originally? And so it'd be a massive dude, one, there were 3 of them. And he went, what, originally? And I said, what, originally? And he goes, he said something like, what you trying to suggest something? I was like, well, you just don't sound like you're from Leeds. That's all, Matt. That's all I'm saying. So he goes, where do you think I sound I'm from? Where do you think I sound I'm from? So I just went, Scotland, as a joke. And everybody in the pub laughed because this big fella's putting it on me, who's clearly not from Scotland. And he did not find it funny at all. But his 2 mates luckily did. And they sort of shepherded him away from me. I was just sat down. I was completely on my own. But the woman behind the bar, she's so lovely. She like came over to me when they'd sat down and went, I know you were only joking. I actually found that funny myself. And I was like, I'm drinking this pint and I am out of here. And his mates came over and like apologised, saying, I don't know why he didn't understand there wasn't from Leeds. I wasn't being rude. I love it when like, you know, Americans support the club, and when wherever you're from, I think it's ace. I just made a joke. It was a scenario you do not want to be in, any scenario, but certainly not when you're on your own. In like, ultimately, after a Leeds game in centre of Beeston, it's like,
yeah, not a
we're
great.
up against it here.
Not a great thing. Hey, I've got my first pelter. Have you seen that Hollyoaks lately? It's gone right downhill.
Mingy. No,
Ming. I've got pelters that cut deep.
They do cut deep, don't they? You'll take them as well as me, to be fair. So
yeah, well,
you know,
I need to prepare, so then it goes uphill because I'm making it in the morning, Ming. So fingers crossed.
yeah. To be fair, yeah, man. Sorry to keep you for so long. To be fair, Dave, but you know,
no, it's fine. It's fine. I've got an early start because if I'm not at my Sunday best, then it's going further downhill. Sadly for me, he's going to be absolutely livid when he tunes in a few months when mine comes out.
He'll be looking out for your name. He'll just be fast forwarding to get to the name, going right, it's that one, and then he'll mention it.
Yeah, and they're going, I knew it was shit. He stayed up far too late the night before.
There's no forgiving. They don't forgive. Right, Dave. Nice one.
Nice one. Well, good to chat to you. Anyway.
Thanks, man. Cheers for tuning in. And
my pleasure. My pleasure. And yeah, keep making content, mate. I love listening to it, Ace.
Cheers, big man. I know you are. You were talking about your Alan Partridge bias. There's a definite bias in there, but nice one. I'll chuck you out there. Cheers, man.
Yeah, nice.
Take it easy. There he goes. The heating on is on full beam as it's good job I took that hoodie off because I am red as. What's McVicker? JLUFC and Moneyball. To be honest, MVG, just to close on that, I do think Braveheart, I don't think I'd be a fan of Braveheart. Quickly followed, I didn't get to that, to be fair. Quickly followed by Trainspotting Highlander and anything starring Billy Connolly. Well, funnily enough, I think Billy Connolly's piss funny. And funnily enough, when I was younger, I didn't think he was funny. And then as I've got older, I think he's well funny. Should have told him. He does indeed, MVG, yeah. Cheers, Mingy. But yeah, I'm going to sign out, guys, because I need a piss. And including having Joe on, we've been on for nearly 4 hours. So we've nearly done the marathon and I'm red hot. But genuinely cannot believe we're still here. Enar popping up at the end like my man always does. Cheers, dude. Thank you for tuning in. You're a legend. MVG for that super chat as well, man. You're the West Coast Warlord. Ming for the super chat. My back's just gone a bit then. Sean Rooney, legendary MVG. Honestly, legendary in every single sense. I'm Scottish. That's the whole joke. Cheers, AO. Take care. Right, I'm off, everybody. Shout out to each and every which one here. I'm off to game tomorrow. So I might do a shit vid before I set off. It depends what time my brother gets here to pick us up. Take it easy, 78 RPM. I'm not quite the hardest working YouTube, man. Joe's a beast. But yeah, take it easy, everybody. I'm off to get some fresh air because I'm so warm. Take it easy.
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.